This is the Big O Show. 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 This.
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, CuttersEdgePro.com does some amazing stuff, and there are the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that, the two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that, I gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them, they like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do, they play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden, she's the girl right here. She's a badass, that's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. CuttersEdgePro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in that corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go, see, getting some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at Caneswear.com or InnerMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome aboard. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend outside of watching this. Holy crap, man. Wow. That was garbage. Anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about. Well, maybe some things. I can't say. I'd be lying to you, actually, if I said we got a lot of things. There's not really a lot to talk about today. Unfortunately, it's not. Man, it's just you scour. You try to look for things to talk about with all of you out there, and putting together a show every day is kind of a mission right now when there aren't really a lot of juicy stories. Marlins continue their winning ways, by the way. They take 3 of 4 from the Pirates. They are now 11 games over 500, which is pretty impressive for them. They won 3 of 4. So they and you know what? They can continue their winning ways because they've got very winnable games coming up. The Red Sox aren't great. St. Louis isn't great. You know what I mean? Atlanta, I think, is coming up. That's going to be tough, but still in this stretch coming up, they've got winnable games, and it starts with the Red Sox, which the Red Sox are 18-23. Okay, in their last 41, 18-23. So lost 4 of 5. They have an opportunity to continue to stack up the victories. Yuri Perez was outstanding again yesterday. That kid is just, man, he can spin it, dude. He can spin it. So this they got an opportunity to keep this thing going, and we'll see if they can make it interesting in August and September overall. I mean, the schedule eventually will get a little tougher,
But they've proven one thing halfway through the season, pretty much. They're better than the bad teams in the league. So they're somewhere in the middle. So now the question is, can they take that next step forward? Will they make a move or two to add to this team? Those kind of things. So, it'll kind of separate itself here when we get to July and August, and then we'll find out if we're going to have an interesting September with the Marlins, which would be pretty cool, because I don't know if you're going to have anything postseason-wise with these guys. Wow, that is bad. That is bad. By the way, got one of these, got this, on Saturday, went over to Caneswear and got a bunch of stuff. And so, you can go to Caneswear and check it out. Got a couple of new hats also at Caneswear. I should have sported one of the new hats, actually, that I got. I got a new Dolphins hat that was really nice, all black with the classic logo. They got a bunch of stuff with the old logo over there at Caneswear. So check it out. My daughter and my wife got some Inter Miami gear. The ladies love the pink and the black, man. It's a cool color for the ladies. No doubt about that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because the summer's going to get interesting here when Messi joins. But the way they're playing, it doesn't look like they're going to go to the playoffs, which is kind of, ridiculous, let's just say. It's pretty pathetic. Let me tell you, they can't build a team over there. They suck. I mean, thank God that the owners have money and they can go buy Messi and Busquets and things like that. That doesn't take, it doesn't take the same kind of skill to go buy a player, but building a team, they can't build shit over there, bro. Those teams are, wow. It's painful to watch Inter Miami. Seriously. It's like I'm spending my Saturday night watching this shit. I'm looking forward to Messi, but the poor guy's only going to be here for a couple of regular season games. After that, he'll be off. They're not even going to make the playoffs with Messi. That's going to be a disaster. Think about that. You trade for Messi, okay? Or you sign Messi, not trade. You sign Messi in free agency and Sergio Busquets, and you can't make the playoffs because you're just a bad organization. You can't build a team. After everything, and they turned over the hell out of that roster, and they can't build it. Now, they're stuck with a couple things. They've had injuries, so not everything has gone their way, but a lot of their decisions, like, watching Pizarro out there on the pitch, that's been a disaster of a signing from day one, and they can't get rid of that bum. It's really amazing, dude. Really amazing. And nobody wants him because it's such a terrible signing. So they'll have to buy him out now. So he'll still get his money, but wow. I mean, none of their DP signings have been worth it. Not one. Messi will be the first one. Finally. Finally, they made a DP signing that was kind of worth it. That's pretty sad. They've got 17 goals in 15 games, Inter Miami. These guys barely score over a goal a game. That's pathetic, dude. They're in last place in the conference with 15 points. They're 11 points out of the last playoff spot. They've got to skip so many teams in order to get to that last playoff spot. You are asking for a miracle of all miracles when Messi gets here, because he is going to be playing with a terrible team. Saturday, they will take on Austin at Drive Pink Stadium. But wow, 1-8 on the road after that loss to Philadelphia. 1-8. It's just a terrible team, dude. It really is. So enjoy Messi, because you're not really going to enjoy anything. You know what a disaster. So you're Adidas, you're Apple, you're the MLS, and Inter Miami ownership you make this effort, everybody makes this effort to acquire Messi, and you bring him onto a team that can't even make the playoffs. Do you know what an outright disaster that is for Adidas and for Apple? They've paid the rights for all of this stuff. Now they're going to be paying Messi a cut, and you're not going to be able to milk it in the playoffs? Wow. I mean, that is, talk about one of the worst sports seasons ever, and talk about one of the most disastrous moves ever, is bringing Messi here and you can't even make the playoffs. I mean, that guy's sitting there, they lost on his birthday on Saturday. So that guy's sitting on vacation with his family, and then he's looking at the internet going, God, I know I'm getting paid a lot of money, but holy shit. I'm not playing with, Barcelona anymore. I'm not playing on a PSG or Manchester City or, this isn't like one of the elite teams. I am playing in the MLS, and now I'm also playing in one of the 3 worst teams in the MLS. I'm going to be very interested to see how he handles all of that, because he's never played with mediocre, and he's going to step onto the pitch with an incredibly mediocre team, a very poorly constructed team. So now all of a sudden Messi and Busquets are supposed to elevate and save this team all by themselves. That's going to be very, very hard. I've seen a lot of stars come to this league and they struggle. And he's not Superman. He's, soccer, you're going to need other people to kind of work it down and score and play well. And whew, doggy, let me tell you something. This is going to be an outright disaster if you acquire the guy, and all it is for a couple of regular season games. I get it. It's a short, you only have a short portion of the season left and all that, and then next year you get to restart it, and maybe you'll be able to put together a team. But wow, man. Wow. I'm just watching that on Saturday night, and I know he's getting paid a lot of money, but wow, doggy, you are going to be playing with a bad bunch. Bad bunch. Tua Time says, I look forward to hearing you and Sean recap tomorrow night on the Squared Circle Digest. There you go. By the way, tomorrow we will be in Atlanta. I fly out to Atlanta tonight. I'll be in Atlanta for a couple of days. Tomorrow we'll talk about where we can meet for some lunch or something after the show. Tomorrow I'll be doing the show from the hotel. And, I'll be doing the show from the hotel over the next couple of days, Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday I fly back in the morning, and I'll be in the afternoon over at Hialeah Park. And remember, come on out to Hialeah Park. Join us out there. You guys start making a crowd out there. I will bring prizes. All kinds of giveaways. I promise you. Okay? So you do that, and, and True Fin Fan, I owe you a present. Next time I see you, I will surprise you with something. Don't know what it is, but I'm going to surprise you with something for coming out. So I appreciate it. Steve Chapman, I see, is number 1 in the chat board. Let's see. Brian Walters is in. He reminds everybody to smash it and the like button too. I agree with him. Please smash the hell out of the like button. And don't forget, if your business wants to be a part of our platform, you want to be a sponsor of our pre and post game show with the Miami Dolphins. You want to sponsor one of our insiders, different kinds of segments. Want to be a part of the show? Please reach out to our business line. If you want to be a sponsor, at 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. That is our business line. So if your business, maybe you want to advertise, market, get new clients. You can reach them locally in South Florida, statewide, nationwide, and internationally, because we have listeners at all stages. So if you're a national company like Essential Moving Experts, like Sloman's Home Shield, we can take care of you, man. You know what I'm saying? We get customers all over for those businesses. If you do it locally, well, that's a whole different ballgame. We can do it here also in South Florida. So great way to market your business and great way to reach new customers. Call our business line, 786-754-4664. And we are in the process of negotiating with a few people, but nothing's finalized yet. We do want to find a home so we can bring the listeners and all hang out somewhere to watch the Miami Dolphins pre- and post-game shows and the games. So if your business wants to attract more business, give us a ring on our business line at 786-754-4664. And speaking of Essential Moving Experts, Sean Williams, 386-213-4054. Long moving services, home moving services, office relocation, long distance. Over 1,700 happy customers have said, hey, we love what Essential Moving Experts brings to the table. You can experience the same flat rates, no surprise charges. Some moving companies do that. That's just absolutely unfair. Safe and efficient loading and unloading practices at all time, folks. Call Sean Williams and the great people at Essential Moving Experts, 386-213-4054, and tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you that they will definitely take care of you. All right. What else do we have going on? Jamie Zoria is in the house from San Jose. Giovanni is in. Isaiah's in. Omar, Lisa, Jamie. Says, good morning from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Hope you had a nice weekend. Thank you, Jamie. We love when people put where they're listening from anywhere in the world. Let's see what else. Kyle Cockrell, Stephen Gonzalez. He says, Sean here from jury duty, listening to you guys. Thank you for the show. Now I don't have to pass out. It's boring here. Wow. Jury duty's tough, but hey, you're doing the right thing, bro. We all got to do our part. Sometimes it's rough to do that jury duty stuff, but, it's part of being an American. Jay Gelfin in the house. PDB 2K15. Tua Times Relaxing. Gus 1388. King Short. Bradster. Sharon Calderon. Says Jeff from Long Island is in the house. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you, my brother. Terry Lynch, Walter Olivares, Frankie Fresco, NorCal, Chris Wilson Fishing. I went bass fishing. It was a great weekend. Good for you, my brother. Good for you. It is so hard watching Inter. Yes, it is, Ray. Frankie Fresco with the first super chat. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show at Cash App or Venmo. And he's asking, Big O, you have to talk about AEW Forbidden Door. I have no idea what that is. How can I talk about something that's for the Squared Circle Digest, bro? I mean, the Forbidden Door, it sounds like the was it the Green Door or something back when I was a kid? Was it called the Green Door or something? Behind the Green Door or something? What the hell is the Forbidden Door? What are you doing there, Shaker?
I was trying to get my drink done, just got the workout in. Forbidden Door, federations in wrestling don't work together. So AEW broke the Forbidden Door and started working with New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact, and other wrestling companies, and this became the pay-per-view called Forbidden Door.
Oh, so a crossover is illegal in this business. Well, not illegal, but just not something that you do.
Well, no, it's not some. It's just something that was not seen because usually it's competition. So you're kind of, But again, it's how you look at it. Vince McMahon always looked at it as, why am I going to give my time I'm paying for to another company to show your stars when you're my competition? So
I got it.
but it's helped AEW a little bit too, because they've also picked up some of the guys that they've had on the pay-per-view, and they use them from time to time, which gives them, they're high profile guys. They're just not known because they're in Japan.
I got you. Okay. All right. Makes sense. All right. Well, what can I tell you? I have no say in this because I don't know if it's beneficial or not. Should you do it? Not. I'm not smart enough, Frankie, but you got Sean's, take on it. So what can I tell you? I have no idea, my brother. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Let's see. 2 a time. Omega Osprey was an incredible match. Everything else was mid. Is that like middling? Is that what you mean by it, Tua? And Osprey. I watched a Netflix show. What was it called? It was like a 10-episode show. I binged it with the wife over the weekend. And Osprey was the name of one of the spies or something. Now I'm forgetting the name of the show. It was all right, actually. It was decent. But yeah, we started it on Friday. We finished it yesterday. We binged over the weekend. We killed all 10 episodes. Damn, what the hell is the name of that thing? Forgot now. Anyway, Ray Sosa in the house. Adam Sadowski is in. Strafasi says, I am loving what the Marlins are doing right now. Well, hell yeah, of course, dude. I mean, it's hard to even imagine that they'd be this good this deep into the season. Do you think they can steal a wild card spot? We'll find out in July and August. That's when we'll find out. The schedule will get harder. They'll play some of the better teams, and then that'll determine it. Will they make a move or two? Because other teams will be making moves also. All those kind of things. And obviously they need a little luck. They need things to stay kind of on course and not get a lot of injuries or anything like that. Let me tell you something. This is all without Sandy, because Sandy's still not pitching well. But if you get Sandy to pitch well, the way Yuri and him are, the way Yuri's pitching, holy shit, that's 2 aces. We'll find out. They got a shot, but we got to see how they do against the better teams on a consistent basis. If they can defend themselves against those kind of teams and win some games, then yeah, they can definitely steal a wild card spot. Let's see what else do we have here. True Fin fan in the house. Troy Ortiz. Rosendo says, good morning, Big O Nation. Don't let yourself down by the memories of yesterday. Wake up fresh and full of positivity as the beautiful Monday morning knocks at your door right now. Chad is in the house. Burgess. Big O, what age were you when you moved from Belle Glade? 6 months old. Barely lived in Belle Glade. Belle Glade, I was just born there, and that's it. And then we moved. Let's see. Safe travels. Thank you to a time. J.M. Pearson. Good morning from South Dakota. Nice. Nice, J.M. Pearson. So are you close? How far are you, Mr. Pearson or Mrs. Pearson? I'll go Pearson. Don't know if it's a Mr. or Miss. I know it's probably a Mr. You know what I mean? But we got Lisa watching right now. So we got ladies that watch too, but probably a Mr. So how far are you from Sturgis? Okay, because that's South Dakota, correct? Sturgis is in South Dakota. Am I right here? I'm dying to go there. Dying to go to the bike week there and hang out and check out the bands and just have some fun. That just looks like a blast to go hang out. Anyway, so are you far from there? Dad Dean is up. True Fin fan with a super chat this morning. No need, brother. Already got my present this show. Thank you, man. That's very nice. That's too kind of you, but thank you. And thank you for giving Sean and I some support there. Greg Sporting Wood says, Big O, next time you have Poop or Omar, ask them where the excitement is for this current team versus the crap we've had to deal with in the past. See, here's my problem with that, Greg. They are not going to want to look at it that way because then a part of them would have to admit that they're fans. And Poop is not from here, even though he's been here for a long time, so he's clearly a South Floridian just because he's Canadian, eh? But you know, he doesn't really look at any of the teams here like he's a fan of them. You know what I mean? And then Omar, I think there's a part of him that wants to be a fan, but he doesn't want to admit it. See, here's where I just don't bullshit with all that stuff. Yeah, I'm a media member, and I'm going to be objective, and I'm going to call things like I see it because that's what I have to do, but I'm not ever going to hide from the fact that I'm a fan. And I love the Heat, and I love the Marlins, and the Panthers, and Inter, and the Canes, and the Dolphins, and I want them all to win. You know? I can never root against them. I never want them to, you know, except for Jeffrey Loria, which I really couldn't stand. But outside of that, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, but I'm open to telling you what's exciting for me because I'm a fan. So to them, they want to like rise above that stuff. You know what I mean? And that's where you kind of run into it. So I don't know if I can. I'll try. Okay, with Poop, by the way, not Omar, because Omar's not on the platform anymore. But for now, at least, he'll be back in a couple months. Anyway, Michael Lehman is in the house in Vero Beach. Vinny Lena is out in Benton, Kentucky. Joseph for Tina says, Joe, hey, Big O, Joe from New Jersey, biggest Dolphins fan. Thank you, brother. William Troy is in the house. Brian Landis is in. Michael Lehman says, I thought the back door was the forbidden door. Well, it all depends on your likes or dislikes. Let's see. Les Jam is in. Citadel. No, not the show, The Citadel. Now I know what you're talking about. The chick with the lips. I did watch The Citadel, by the way. I did like The Citadel. She's got great lips, by the way. Her lips are like, you know, she surpassed Angelina Jolie with lips, obviously, because she's the younger version of the lips. No, it's God, I'm trying to remember the damn name. You know what? I'll just cheat and tell. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. I'm asking my wife. Because I forgot the damn name of it. And it was decent, by the way. It was entertaining, I got to say. Very entertaining. Let's see. What else do we have? Brian Walters, Big O. Jazz is coming back this week for the first game since May 13th. Yeah, you saw that catch he made in center field in the minors. That was a nice catch. And what I loved about it was how Night Agent, my wife answered back right away. Night Agent was the name of it. Okay. On Netflix. It's called Night Agent. It was pretty good. I'm not going to tell you it's great, but it's a pretty good storyline and all that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed it. 10 episodes and you're done. It's over. Kind of like that. I don't mind. Sometimes when there's extra seasons, at one point or another, it seems like shows jump the shark, and then you just got to get off, like I did with Lost. Once the island started disappearing and polar bears, and it just became so ridiculous. It got to a point, heroes, save the cheerleader, save the world. I don't know, it was maybe the 5th season. It just started really like to jump the shark. And so some shows, it seems like they go a little too long, and then you just got to say, I'm done, finito. By the way, I enjoyed Warrior. I have watched both seasons of Warrior. I know the 3rd season's about to come up now. I've really enjoyed that one. That one I've enjoyed. That's one that I have been very, very intrigued with. But yeah. So there you go. And yeah, Jazz is coming back. Yes. Speaking of Lisa, you guys had you guys have the Jazz Festival. Speaking of jazz in Rochester. And by the way, thoughts and prayers to our friends in Greenwood, Indiana, those tornadoes. As I pop around and remember things that are going on around the country, because I kind of, I watch the news a lot all around the country and the world. So I can kind of also relate to people all over the country or the world sometimes at things they're going through. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of, try to keep up with everything. I know our friends in Greenwood, Indiana, God, that was scary, bro. Those tornadoes are, man, those things are intimidating as hell. And on the same side, I saw Rochester's having their jazz festival too. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, what else do we have? J.M. Pearson says we are about 180 miles from Sturgis. Great place to visit this time of year. All right. I that is a bucket list thing for me. Like, personally, I would love to get like a sponsor so we could go out there and cover, because we're going to cover Bike Week in Daytona soon. That's going to happen maybe next year. But we're going to get that done with our friends in the Daytona area. But the Sturgis one, that would be cool if we can, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe instead of a sponsor thing, how about if we do like a GoFundMe for that trip? And then we come up with we figure out what that number is, Sean. And then we go out there, and that's an event that people are going to want us to cover and see and put on video, because you know that the sites there are going to be one and only. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and maybe we can get some of the bands on, kind of promote it, have some fun. D. Laz says Damian Lillard has serious interest in joining the Heat per Sam Amick. Well, he has to come out and say it, bro. The second-handed shit, step up, bro. Put on a pair and just put out a letter to the Portland fans and put out a video and say, hey, I gave it my all. And I tried, and nobody can be mad in Portland ever at Damian Lillard. He tried all he can do there, okay? They can't build a team around him. What else is there left? Sure, they'd love for him to stay there and retire because they win with that. But he doesn't win a championship. And so he'd like a shot at a chip. But, dude, you got it. You know, at one point or another, Damian Lillard, you got to have some balls, bro. You got to make a move. You got to make a move and make it soon. You know, right? Isn't that a line in a DMX song? Got to make a move, got to make it soon, or something like that, What song? Trying to remember which song is that from DMX. Anyway. Are Poop and Omar not allowed to be fans of the... Well, dude, all I can tell you is that most media members have this pull up their ass that, oh, no, I can't be a fan. Which, come on, dude. You got into sports, writing, radio, TV. Why? Because you were a fan. You love sports. So you said, hey, maybe I can cover sports. And then they tell you, oh, you got to be objective. And I know you guys can't be objective, most of you out there, because you're fans, you're fanatical. So it's hard. But I believe you can be, because I've been that my whole life, while I've been in radio. I'm honest enough to say when a team isn't as good, just because I love them doesn't mean that I think they're champions or anything like that. You know what I mean? Or this player is good, or this trade was good, or that trade was bad, or this GM is good, that GM is bad, this coach is good, that coach is bad, this owner's good, that owner's bad. I can decipher the two. But it's almost like you feel like, oh, no, if you're a fan, it's going to blindly, ruin your opinion. You're going to always be positive about things. So media members will act like they're not really fans when deep down inside they've got to be some kind of a fan, but they won't admit it. Whereas I'm not a phony. I'll just tell you straight up. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm born and raised in South Florida, man. Born and raised in South Florida. I love all my local teams. Always will. Always going to back them up. And all. Like I'll tell you with Riley. Love Riley to death. I'll back up Riley to the end of time. But I'm the first guy to tell you, Riley's fucked up, dude. He can't get a whale if his life depended on it in the last 20 years. And he's struggling to get a whale. Can't bullshit you about that. That's the truth. He's struggling to get a whale. He has the last 4 whales, or three whales have not been landed by him. Bosch, LeBron, and Butler. Those were all landed by Dwayne Wade. And I'm a fan of the Heat. I'm a fan of Pat Riley to the end of time. I'll never, ever, 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 ever want to part ways with Pat Riley. But I'm the first guy to tell you, hey, he's struggling a little bit here with his fastball. And they're still really good as a franchise. They're still by miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles the best franchise in town. It's not even close. Okay? But there's this thing with media members. And it's like they can't admit that they're a fan of a team. I just find it absolutely ridiculous. That's all. Bradley says, live in Lake Worth. I'm Boca Raton right now working. Always supporting you, Big O. Thank you, Bradley. That's very nice of you. Omar got a job at QAM. So good for him. He needs it. And I support Omar. Okay. But broke ass QAM only gives him a job part-time during the football season. And, he'll be back in January when QAM ain't paying him anymore. Priyanka Chopra. That's it. Yes, that's it. The Jonas Brothers' wife. That's right. Which lips? Oh, that's just wrong, Brian. Dolphins for life. And shout out to Skip Schumacher. I see him rubbing elbows with Coach Spo. Oh, nice crowds at the Marlins game, says Troy. Proof of if you win, they will. Of course. It's always been like that. We're not the problem in town. We're never the problem in town. We have a great fan base. We do. We have an awesome fan base. We have an incredibly intelligent fan base. We're not fucking stupid like the Cubs fans. Okay? Those are stupid people. Their Cubs would suck year in and year out when the Tribune Company was running it, and they would never win, and it was always packed. Oh, those are great fans. Oh, no, those are stupid-ass consumers. You go to a bad restaurant, so you find a hair in your soup, you're coming, oh, honey, I can't wait to come back. Maybe they'll put the entire wig inside my soup next time. Is that what you do? Because I don't do that. You want to get support? Put together a good product. Discretionary income is exactly what that is. So you get to use it however you want. So if your baseball team sucks and you're constantly losing, why the hell should I go see you? Oh, I'm sorry, because I'm a fan? Screw you, dude. I'll watch it on television. I'm going to take the wife or my girlfriend or my husband, boyfriend, whatever it is that you are, male, female, whatever. I'm going to take them to a nice restaurant instead. That's where I'm going to spend my money. Why am I going to spend $80 at a baseball game, parking, driving, tickets, food, all that crap, and I'm spending $80 to take, my favorite someone with me, and you suck and we lose? Why am I going to go to a soccer game with no Messi to watch you lose 4-1? Your team's pathetic. You can't score any goals. And why am I going to spend nearly $100 for tickets, parking, food, all that, when I can go to Las Olas and have a great night? When I can go to Worth Avenue and have a great night? When I can go to Key Biscayne or the Grove or South Beach? I can go to a show or a concert or something like. I can go to a Bryan Adams concert instead of going to see your shitty ass football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer team. We have this really ignorant way of looking at fan bases. Oh, no, you got to show up no matter what. No, you don't, dude. No, you don't. If you can't do your part as a franchise, why should I, dude? I work hard as hell for my money. So I'm supposed to give my money to your stupid ass because you can't build a baseball, a soccer team, a football team, a basketball team. You can't hire the right coaches. You won't spend in free agency. F you, dude. So if you're packing it in for the Cubs, you're a fucking idiot. And if 7 years ago you were going to all the Marlins games and supporting Loria, you're a moron. All you did was feed the monster. That's all. You're a terrible consumer. That means you'll pay for anything that's shitty. So the next time, you go to IHOP, nothing against IHOP, by the way. The next time you go to the Pancake Emporium, so that way I don't even throw in any kind of pancake place, and you ask for a stack of pancakes and they get there and it's ice cold, and then you tell your wife, yeah, I can't wait to come back here next week. Because that's what you're doing when you go support a terrible professional team. You're an idiot. You add to the problem because you kept telling the Chicago Tribune or the Tribune Company, I'm sorry. You kept telling the Tribune Company, you guys don't need to improve the team. We pack the stadium anyways because we're stupid. You're not loyal. You're stupid. You're not loyal. You're a freaking moron. We have great fans. You want our money? Let's go. Entertain, dude. I can go to the beach. I can go to a restaurant. I can go to a concert. I can go to a play. I can do lots of things. I can just walk Lincoln Road Mall. It's a lot more fun to walk around Lincoln Road Mall than watch Inter Miami play, dude. Okay? Anything in town is better than going to an Inter Miami game. Okay? You're not a great fan because you keep going and watching a sorry ass product. You're a terrible consumer is what you are. You are an enabler of crap. Okay? You're an EOC, an enabler of crap. How do you like that? So those of you that look at it the old way, you don't know how to look at it. You're not a great fan supporting a shitty product. You're a terrible fan because you're telling the owners it's okay. You can continue to be shitty. There's no price to pay. Not in our town. Well, except for the Dolphins. For many years, they had a shitty product, and they got the support they never deserved. But, hey, what are you going to do? We're football sick. The Canes don't do that. The Canes don't get that support. The Canes get what – if the Canes are shitty, they get shitty attendance. But the Dolphins never get shitty attendance. You know, there might be some empty seats, but it's practically sold out all the time. You know, even on its worst years. Okay, it didn't sell out. It didn't make the blackout. Okay, so what? But it was like 97% sold. For a shitty team, that's fantastic. That's awesome. The Dolphins are the only ones that can get away with that. Any other team in town, you suck, we're not coming out to see you, bro. You don't get that. You know? So that's the thing here. I think our consumers are some of the best because they're like, screw you, bro. I'll get on my boat. Screw you. I'll take a weekend in the Keys. I'll go out to the West Coast and go to Sanibel Island. And, you know, there's so many things to do in South Florida that you don't have to go to a sporting event. There's a whole ton of things to do. Man, you could have, like I do sometimes, you could just go back to the backyard, wheel out the barbecue, and just have a little cookout in the backyard, dogs hanging around, have a good time, put on a game or two on television. That's it. A lot better than spending my money for parking for Inter Miami and tickets and food and all that to watch a shitty team and a terrible performance. When I can enjoy my friends, my family members, my wife and my dogs just alone at the house, way better. Way better. So you are correct, Troy. And that's what the Marlins suck. They get no attendance. Marlins start to win. Well, then you're going to get our attention and our attendance. Now you deserve my money. The Marlins, for many years, you don't deserve anybody's money. So don't complain. That when people would say, oh, the Marlins are going to move. No, the Marlins aren't going to move. We're not the problem. We go to any games. We will pack your place. But you better entertain us. We're a different kind of town, bro. We're not the kind of town that's just going to bend over backwards because there's nothing else to do. That's not how South Florida goes. There's lots of things to do in South Florida. Gordon says, I wish Mad Dog Hank and Rick Weaver were still around to see this team. I know they would be excited. I know Hank is up there laying bets with St. Peter's on the Fin season. MLB hitters are batting 0% against Yuri Perez's changeup this season. Isn't it amazing? King Short, Lips Inc. Gotta make a move that is right for me. Right? Is it right? Isn't that the name of the that song? Funky Town. Won't you take me to Funky Town? I'm pretty sure it was called Lips. All right, look it up for me there, Sean. Funky Town. The song Funky Town. Who sung it? I want to say it was Lips. Ray says that's why Breaking Bad was amazing because it ended at the right time. Exactly. You extend it. Walking Dead went downhill for me after season 8. It happens all the time. Warrior is effing awesome. I'm enjoying it, man. I'm with you there. Terry Lynch says, we just had our jazz festival in Eckhart, Indiana. Nice. Nice. Oh, have you paid any attention to the College World Series? Florida spanked LSU in game 2, 24-4. I have not paid attention to it. I know Florida State and Florida in it. I have not. The Canes aren't in it, so I really don't care much about it. You know what I'm saying? Do you have a Harley Davidson, Big O? No. I ride my wife, not a motorcycle.
It was Lips.
What it was Lips? Huh? It was Lips? Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Ha. How about that? How about that Memoria? Frankie Fresco. Oh, your man Jericho went overboard and hit a wrestling reporter with a bottle of water. Should the reporter sue? Yeah. They probably will. You got money and you hit somebody and they know you got money. Yeah, you're going to get sued. Reporters should be unbiased. That's why we are in a mess we are in. Unless they don't know how to be unbiased. Rosendo. Let's see. Vinny Lena says, Big O, do you think Miami drafting Jaquez makes Caleb Martin more available in a possible Dame deal? I think I don't think that that's the reason why I think they drafted him because he fits what they do, and he does. He does. You know, you end up really liking him when you watch him. But I don't know what's available. Remember, we're all going by media bullshit that they're throwing this trade in and that trade in, and then they throw Caleb. Maybe that's not one of the guys they want to trade. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I don't know what to go by, but I'm certainly not going by, the trades that the media has put out there. I'll wait to see what the deal is, but I'm not going to assume that that's why they draft. I think they drafted that kid because they felt like he was the best fit for their team. Plus, they needed another guy who can defend too, which apparently he can defend. He is very active, by the way, very smart. Hands are very active and always in passing lanes. I like the kid. The more I see him, the more I like him. I can't wait for Summer League just to watch him. John Padilla is in the house. DL says, if you win, they will come, unless you're the Colorado Rockies, 40 to 50,000 attendance to watch crap. Yeah, some places, they just go no matter what, and they're terrible consumers. Ignacio says, Marlins game yesterday was great, and the crowd was great as well. Hope they can keep it up because the fans are there. It's up to them, bro. Not up to us. Bryan Adams concert looked epic. Thank you for sharing the videos. Oh, looking to go when he's in Denver. You should go. By the way, that hailstorm at Red Rocks. Holy shit. And let me tell you something. I saw that, and I've been to Red Rocks a couple of times. And you park so far away. And if you didn't make it into the bathrooms, there's literally nowhere to hide in Red Rocks. Nowhere. Okay? Unless you had access to backstage or you got into the bathrooms and those bathrooms were packed. And by the way, what was disgusting was watching the ice water roll into the bathroom and the people that had sandals on and those public bathrooms. And, there's piss and everything on those floors. And so it's getting mixed up with the water. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, you got sandals on. And, that's gross. Anyway, as I digress, I don't know if any of you saw the hailstorm that hit Red Rocks a couple of nights ago. I mean, dude, people are bruised and battered coming out of it. Arms, back, everything. I mean, did you see that, Sean? Did you see the hailstorm in Red Rocks? You probably didn't. Oh, you did? If you haven't seen it, go just put hailstorm at Red Rocks. That's all. Just happened 5 nights ago or something. My God, I feel terrible for those people because they just couldn't. You can't go anywhere. You can't run. You got to go through a couple of hundreds of steps. And I'm not shitting you here. Several hundred steps to just get down. And then you got to walk to your car. And your car will easily be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks away. So meanwhile, you're just getting pelted and pelted and pelted. And you got to see the pictures of the bruises that these people have. Some scary shit, dude. Wow. Anyway, Chad says, I was only going to the Marlins game if I was given tickets, would never pay for them. Always right. Rather than go to the bench and get drinks and catch the game at a bar with the beautiful views. Exactly. Yeah. Darken something there. To be fair, those places have nothing better to do. Yeah, that's right. GP Trap is in the house. Let's see. Fitzgerald Grass says Fitz from Naples went to the Marlins game Saturday, first time in 3 years. It's worth it. What about the people that are stuck with the Texans, the Magic, etc.? That's their problem. I know I wouldn't give them my money. I'll watch it on television, but I wouldn't give them my money, ever. I never gave Loria 1 penny. Wouldn't buy a shirt, wouldn't go to a game, wouldn't spend any money whatsoever on a Loria-led team. So, Roderick's telling me it was Lips. There you go. Alex Toledo. Oh, why is Dame so afraid to ask out? I don't know, man. I guess he doesn't want to be the bad guy. You know? Big O, you're effing awesome, dude. Well, thank you, Laz. That's very nice of you, dude. Very nice of you. Not true, but very kind that you're being nice. So I appreciate it. Cold morning working in San Francisco, sweater weather, and the Big O show. There you go. Just stay safe, bro, because, man, San Francisco, what a shame that city has gone to absolute waste. Jesus, I lived there for a short time back in the 90s, and it was such an awesome place. And to see where it's gone now, what a shame, dude. Terrible leadership there. Terrible, terrible leadership. Big O, bought my flight and tickets for week 2 versus Pats at Foxborough. 8 of us. We're all set to go. First time there, and it's a Sunday night football game. Going to be amazing. Nice. I like it. Andy Cornell is up in, it's High Bonnie, Scotland. Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you all out there tuning in. What's the solution to homelessness? I don't know if I have a solution for homelessness, but you can't have them living on the streets. That's the one thing. You can't have people doing that, because then it creates unsafe streets, because these people are desperate. So maybe you find, maybe you create, I hate to put it this way, but kind of not a detention center, but kind of a reintroduction center. And maybe that's what we should do, and send homeless people there, where 1, they can get medical care, 2, they can get maybe educated, they can get taught some kind of service or something like that, some kind of trait, something that they can learn so they can become productive citizens. Now, there are certain people that will never be productive citizens because mentally they're just not stable. But the homelessness problem it's a really difficult thing to solve at this point in time. And to be cruel, okay? To be cruel, because I'm going to be brutally honest. I think we also live in a soft society. And I think people nowadays, some, not all of us, but some they quit too easy. You know, life is hard, man. Life is going to kick you in the ass a whole bunch of times, but you just can't give up. You got to find a way to fight through adversity. And I don't know if our society I'm sure of it, that our society overall isn't mentally and physically tough enough to take hits. And I kind of get the sense that people are really easy to give up sometimes, and also really easy to ask for handouts when they haven't earned the goddamn thing. So there's a lot of diseases going on in this country. Homelessness is one, but the disease of lazy has kind of led to some of that. And then obviously there's a lot of misfortune, and then there's a lot of mental instability that have also led to homelessness. But I just kind of feel that we're not tough enough as a society overall, So, because we're all going to have adversity, dude. My business has kicked me in the ass several times, incredibly unfair to me, but I don't point fingers. I just move on. I don't make excuses. I find a way to overcome. That's what I do. That's the only way I know how to do things. I'm not a person that dwells on the negativity. I put it away and then try to find a solution and move forward. And I don't think that a lot of people, no, I don't. I think there's a lot of people out there that refuse to do those kind of things, and kind of give in to whatever has happened to them. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of our problem. But then the other, 4/5 of it, I don't know how we solve the mental issue, people that have had like really terrible luck, it's health issues physically, that's a small portion of homelessness. Like, maybe 20% are lazy. But the other 80, I don't know how to solve that one. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's hard to even have answers for that kind of stuff, and it's heartbreaking to watch it. That's the other thing. God, it's heartbreaking to watch people, who are really hurting and need help. And you just can't help everybody. We've adopted several dogs in our, and we have, a whole bunch of dogs in our house now. And every time I see another dog, it's like, I want to adopt that one and that one. And you just can't, it's tough, man. It's tough. Andy says, Big O, did you ever listen to a Scottish rock band called Big Country? Of course, man. In a big country, dreams stay with you. Yeah, man, of course. And Fields of Fire, right, is another one. Yeah. Don't think they made it across the pond? Of course, they made it here, dude. Yes. They were huge on MTV. The Big Country was on every other hour on MTV. Yeah, they made it big in America for sure. My God, yes, they were all over. Yeah. I'm not telling you that this is a great band that oh my God, I know tons of songs of theirs, but they had a few hits here. Fields of Fire was the other one. It was pretty good. Wasn't too bad. Let's see what else. Me too. I protested Loria all those years he had the Marlins. If I see him walking across the street, I'd just cross over to slap him and his son. Oh, you guys are a trip. Let's see. Cali became way too bureaucratic and expensive. A story I read where officials celebrated the building of one public toilet in San Fran. The cost $1.7 million, and it won't be completed until 2025. Yeah, Karoon, that place is a disaster. Big O Cure concert set Saturday. What? Well, actually, I'll be at the Cure tomorrow night and Wednesday, and then Saturday. I just got my tickets also for Morrissey. Taking the wife and the daughter to Morrissey. Got pit tickets. So if you're going to Morrissey and you're going to be in the pit, what is it, October 8th or something? I'll be there. Looking forward to it. All right, let's go. Hour number 2 is next. The one and only Alan Poupart, baby, and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report kicks it off.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
Okay. I don't know what the hell happened with that open there. How you feeling, my brother? How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Excellent. Cannot complain. Hey, so what happened to Dalvin Cook?
Same thing that's going to happen for the next several weeks. Holding pattern.
But I thought the Dolphins were trading for him. I thought the Dolphins would scoop him up the second he became available. I mean, what's going on? It's been weeks now. He's sitting there, and now we're hearing the Jets, and now we're hearing the Patriots, and I'm almost getting a feeling like he desperately wants to play here. And now he's trying to use the same teams inside the division to try to entice the Dolphins to up their ante or whatever it is. And, you know, Chris Kerr is sitting back going, what? Oh, I'm just sitting on the beach, having a drink and relaxing, like calm and cool, like nothing is happening. So what's the deal, dude? What's the feeling you're getting here with all of this?
I think he desperately wants to get paid more than anything else, if we're going to be honest about it. I think all things being equal, he absolutely wants to play for the Dolphins. But yeah, he could wind up that some team at some point decides to give him more money than the Dolphins are willing to pay. And I love the one I loved is he did this SiriusXM radio interview, and literally the question was asked, like, would you be excited about playing for the Dolphins? And he said, and he proceeds to talk about the Dolphins and say it would be a perfect fit for me and all that. And all of a sudden, Cook reveals Dolphins is preferred destination. No, he was asked specifically about the Dolphins. What's he going to say? Yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, I'll go play for the Dolphins. That's fine. Had he been asked, what do you think he would be excited to play for the Jets? It'd be like, yeah, that'd be a good fit. And he would. I mean, that's what guys do. It's why, like some of these interviews, you always have to understand the concept. Just like I think it's maybe Jair Alexander.
But no, same thing with Cook when it's playing with Dia. Oh, that would be epic. Oh, he now wants to play with Dia. He never said that. Correct. You just asked him, would you like to play with Dia? Oh, yeah, that would be epic. Just like I'm sure would be epic for him to play with Pat Mahomes, too. There's lots of epic. That doesn't mean, but that's our problem. I'm glad you don't do this shit, dude, because there's a lot of media crap that goes on, and it's just, how can I twist this to make it clickbait material? when it's not really clickbait material, because at no point did Cook ever say, I want to play with D-Hop. But then here's the TV shows, here are the articles, and they're all writing it like he said it, he wants to play with him. No, dude, it's ridiculous.
No, and if he's asked specifically about a team, what's he going to do? Shut the door on the possibility? It doesn't. It's I know the other point the other example I was going to make. They goes Jair Alexander in Green Bay is saying, "Oh, I'm expecting big things from Jordan Love." He's this quarterback. We're in June. What else is he going to say? I mean,
right.
Like, Jesus, that drives me nuts. That drives me insane.
Yeah, exactly. You should, and you should be, positive with your teammate, and he's a young guy. You want to bring him along and all that. So yeah, man, it's all, common sense there. That the way you would handle something like that. All right, so is this going to drag on? Is he just going to wait for an injury? Is that kind of, because I'm almost getting, since he's not getting money from Miami. Okay, so if he really wants money, so is he going to wait for somebody to be desperate? Because that's the problem with his situation. Nobody's desperate for a running back right now. So until somebody's desperate, is that what you're doing? You're going to wait for a desperation situation, not a good situation.
Or he may reach a point where he's going to tell himself, yeah, the money I want's not happening. So, and I don't want to sit out. I mean, what's he going to do? Sit out the whole year like Le'Veon Bell did that one time with the Steelers, and how did that work out for his career? Yeah. At one point, something's going to have to give, either like you mentioned, and running back's not necessarily a position where it's as difficult to learn a system and be on your P's and Q's with everything that an offense has done, where he could show up halfway through training camp and still make a major impact. So I think he has the leeway of waiting a couple of weeks into training camp, see if there's an injury that happens somewhere that gives him a shot to be a feature back and make good money. And then, but at some point, if that doesn't happen, then he's going to have to ask himself, okay, what am I willing to do? And then at some point, to me, like for him, maybe the drop dead point where he wants to make a decision, make a call would be, let's say, halfway through training camp, middle of August or something like that.
I know you wrote about it, and we all watched it last night. Drew Rosenhaus added nothing in his Channel 7 interview. He called it a situation, didn't call it an investigation. So what do we know, and when's that video going to come out? Because that's what we need. We need that video.
That's the shocking one right there.
What are they? I guess this is like the Dolphins and Cook. Do they want TMZ to up the ante here a little bit? Is that what's going on?
Or they don't have somebody at the police department to leak it for him. Yeah, no, I did find that interesting that he called it an ongoing situation as opposed to an investigation, which kind of suggests that maybe it's dealing more with dealing with the victim and that situation. But the police department, was it as of Friday, was saying that the investigation was still ongoing. So it's weird because then you have like a couple of reports say tarpon fishing was involved. A couple of reports say no, it's strictly about the two women on the boat, which is on the police report. And there's nothing about tarpon fishing in the police report, but two different outlets in South Florida. Was it the Herald and then WP? Both said that tarpon fishing was involved. So it's a weird one. I'll be honest with you. I mean, and we're talking now, we're a week away from when the incident occurred, and there's still a whole lot of stuff that's very cloudy. It's a very, very weird one. And then I wouldn't. Drew has been radio silent on his social media feed. Same with Tyreek, and Tyreek loves to tweet and all that, and been pretty silent there too. So I wouldn't have expected Drew to say anything last night.
No, yeah. Well, he rarely ever says anything on that show anyways. When it comes to his clients, he rarely really gives any. When it's negative stuff, he's not going to give you anything. He just never does. It's just kind of the way it goes on that segment. But anyway, do we have any idea when this thing is? Because this can't be lasting very long. This isn't that big a situation. And if I'm Tyreek and his representatives, I kind of want this thing to go away already. And the longer it lasts, then the longer it could become a real problem. Now, although I don't expect much of a suspension if there's one, to be quite honest. Even if there's one, I don't think it'll be more than a game, but whatever. Who knows?
Well, based on the reporting, which indicates it's a slap in the back of the head, and kind of they came back the next day to speak to the guy, again, based on the reports, which suggests that there's no major injuries involved. It's certainly not a situation like we're doing like with Kareem Hunt, several years back, or even like Davante Adams just had his charges dropped from his shove last year. Where, I mean, if you saw the video, it's like, yeah, the Raiders just lost a heartbreaking game and all that, and literally he's walking off the field, and there's a camera guy like carrying video equipment who walks like right in front of him. And I certainly am not going to condone what Adams did, but it's like under the circumstances that he shoved the guy out of the way. Like, I mean, it was just
nobody was. No, I'm sorry. The cameraman wasn't at fault either because he didn't mean to do it either. It was just one of those terrible timing situations, but it was still handled incredibly shitty by Davante Adams. So, would I call it a crime? No, but I would call it, dude, you're being an asshole right there. I get it. You had a rough moment, but there's no need to take it out on that guy. I did have a problem with the way he handled it.
Except the guy, they're the only thing. I'm going to play devil's advocate because like I said, I don't condone what he did, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. And the guy is walking. He's walking across the exit tunnel. And if you're going to do that, I think it's your responsibility to make sure you're not walking in front of somebody.
Yeah, no,
so
I totally agree with that. It's just we're all human beings, bro. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to do things that we didn't mean to do. We didn't realize we screwed up, but we shouldn't get treated like absolute shit just because we screwed up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and if the guy, and as long as you're also respectful in that moment and apologize and you show some contrition there, I'm all right with it because, dude, we're all going to screw up, but the kind of peon way of looking, the way it looked like, get out of my way. You're in my way, how dare you kind of type of thing. I just didn't kind of like the way he handled it. I don't think there was any reason for him to do that. You know what I mean? If you want to like jump into the guy, not knock him down, but then say, yo, come on.
What the hell? Let's where you going? No, I agree.
Hey, moron, wake up. You just, okay, cool. And then the guy, hey, I'm sorry. Okay, then you move on. I'm good with that. But the throwing him to the ground, that part I had a problem with it. You know what I mean? So I guess you think it'll be done this week? I mean, it's I don't know. I'm putting you in an absolutely unfair.
I don't know. Again, I don't know enough of the details. Let me see the video. I'll be able to make a better judgment.
Yeah, I think we all want to see the video, except for Tyreek, of course. I'm sure he doesn't want to see, or he doesn't want
unless
public.
Unless it indicates him,
Well, he hasn't sounded like that. See, when you're innocent, you will scream at the top of your lungs. No, that guy's a liar, and I can't wait to challenge him. And where's that video and all that? You know what I mean? So I haven't seen that from that side. So that tells me that he did something.
Or the comment, and this is where Drew would have gone. I would ask everybody to reserve judgment until all the facts come out.
Right. Yeah. Which has not been the case.
Correct.
So, and he's had his issues in the past. So this is not something new. And that's going to be the worst part for him now, because now they will bring up his past.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a very short memory in today's world. Okay. I mean, it's not like anybody remembers Rick Sanchez hanging out with San Pedro. So, it's just, that's kind of the way things are in this world. People don't remember things. They forget about them right away. And that's would have been positive for Tyreek because he has kind of turned the page here and he's been exceptional since he got here. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And now, unfortunately, it's going to bring up the past. And then so this guy was being a phony the entire time and all that. And that's the kind of shit that he's going to have to live with now.
No, and like I said, even in the best case scenario of a resolution of the situation, it's a nasty PR hit for Hill.
All right. Anything else going on? Because it's all quiet on the Western Front. By the way, I was given a modern day thing. It's all good in the hood.
There you go.
All quiet on the Western Front. All good
There
in the
you
hood.
go. Although somebody pointed out that they did a remake of All Quiet on the Western Front.
Of the movie?
Yeah,
Really? I didn't know that.
like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, I wasn't aware either. So
Well, then again, don't they remake all movies now? Like they
It's-
have no creativity anyways. Let's just redo Hawaii Five-0 and let's just, I'm sure The Godfather is going to be remade very soon. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on.
or superhero movies.
Right. Yeah. Oh God. I it's gotten to a point where I just don't watch them anymore. It's just too many. Or how many more Spider-Mans are you gonna give me, bro? Like how many?
I don't know, and I'm gonna have to be there at every one of them because my son and my daughter are totally into it. So we saw the last one, and my wife and I were like, "How'd you enjoy the movie?" Well, the kids really liked it, so it was like, "Okay, good."
All right. At least they liked it. But it
Taking one
just,
for the team.
yeah, it just kind of gets over and over. All right. So since all is quiet on the Western Front with the Dolphins, what are you working on at alldolphins.com?
All is not quiet on alldolphins.com. I had enough good question that I split the mailbag into 3 parts. Part 3 is going up today. I have also beginning a series, the top 75 Dolphin games of the 2000. It's a 15-part series divided in 5 games each, which will start today, runs through July 18th because I don't do anything the first 2 days of the 4th of July week. And those are always fun. I always like looking back and then remembering and revisiting some games. And there were actually a lot of really good games, the Dolphins. And so fans are aware immediately those are the best games. And yes, it includes some losses because those were entertaining games to watch. It wasn't like the 75 best Dolphin victories, because then it would be just like for example, the Miracle at the Meadowlands.
So is number one the only second round game we've had in 23 years?
You'll have to wait until July 18th is when that
we had one second round game in 2000, right? Was it?
They lost their second round game. They got spanked in the second round game.
Right, but that's kind of,
why would that be a best? It was 27-0. That wasn't a good game.
Because it was the farthest we've gotten.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't the criteria. The criteria was entertainment value of the game.
So the game we won in the first round, that's like
it's in the top 75. Yes.
No, it's in the top 2, bro. Come on.
It's in the top 5. That's the most I'll tell you. It's in the top 5.
It has to be. I mean,
it has to be
the only meaningful game we've won in 23 years, dude.
True. They won
the first round game in the playoffs.
Okay, and what about the 2000 season finale that clinched the AFC's title? That was a meaningful game. The 2008 win the Jets to win the AFC's title again was very meaningful. There were a lot of meaningful. It wasn't strictly about.
Was that the Ted Ginn game?
Sorry?
Was that the Ted Ginn game?
No, the Ted Ginn game was like November 1st, 2009. And yes,
Okay.
it's in the countdown.
It has to be by himself, bro.
Dude, they got outgained like.
He burned Darrelle Revis for a bomb for a touchdown, and then he scored on a return. I mean, all by himself, he lifted them over the Jets.
That wasn't the Ted Ginn game I'm talking about. The Ted Ginn game was the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns. In a game, they were outgained like 378 to 104, and they won 30-25, which was crazy.
Yeah. Stats don't tell you everything, man.
Correct.
It's always, you know how it is. You're a writer.
Mhm.
Stats can be spun however the hell you want if you're creative enough. You know,
So,
you can
nuance and context is what my new buzzwords.
That is very true. And when it comes to context, boy, we lose it completely. We don't put context in anything.
Mhm.
You know, especially by the way, your partner in crime, Omar, doesn't put things in context at times. Okay. Because we always have that conversation here on the platform. It's like, bro, you got to put context to that. You just can't say, oh, this was terrible. Why? There was a reason why, or it was good. There was a reason why. Sometimes, you got to give the context in there. All right. So follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And remember, you are officially a Dolphins fan, not when you attend a game or buy a jersey. No. You have to bookmark alldolphins.com. Once you do that, you're officially a Dolphins fan anywhere in the world, by the way, right? Right? This offer goes good in Portugal and in Brazil, not just here in America.
And all you have to do is click. We don't charge. It's not behind the paywall and all that. All you have to do is go to alldolphins.com. Every story is there to read for free.
There you go. Get all the info there. Alan, as always, appreciate you, my brother. We will catch up later on in the week.
Sounds like a plan. You'll be good.
You got it. There you go. Alan Poupart, baby, with our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And remember, EJD Construction, we love talking about Eric and all the amazing people there at EJD Construction. They've been at this for over 20 years, man. You know what it is to be at it for over 20 years, and you've earned the AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. And let me tell you something, they are fully insured, okay? So if anybody gets injured on your property, they're not going to sue you. Make sure whoever you hire is fully insured and that they prove that they are insured, folks. And when you talk about shell construction in-house, that's how they keep the cost down. So give them a ring, 305-433-4843, only Dade and Broward counties. Okay, those are the only two counties he services. So call him 305-433-4843.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Thank you. Big O, a lot of homeless are veterans as well, yet there are a lot of issues. We need to help them get through their issues and get them on the correct path. I agree. Like I told you, like 80% of it, is things that like vets and emotional issues and things like that. I think only 20% is like lazy, but there's a lot of people that need help, man. They need help. It's sad. Let's see. MTV at the height of the 80s and 90s was such a cool time. I agree. Big O, I am a painless dent repair tech. I see hail and I see money. Oh, yeah. All those cars got ruined. Yeah, body shops got a lot of work over there. There will be a second season of Night Agent. Yeah, that's what I heard, Scott. But I'm sure it'll be a completely new story, right? Let's see. Tyreek should know better. When it gets hot in the kitchen, it's time to get out. And listen, if he hit the guy, that's just an absolutely stupid ass move by Tyreek. It's just him being a freaking moron. And there's no other way to put it. No matter if that guy was telling you shouldn't be tarpon fishing or boat hopping or whatever, clearly there was. See, they're not fighting anything. They're not saying that anything is a lie. They're not saying that they were defending themselves. They're not saying that they didn't do none of that. None of it is going on. Oh, my name will be cleared. That guy's a liar. This will be none of that. So clearly he did something wrong here. What it is, how bad it is, I don't know. But whatever it is, Rosendo is 1,000% right. Tyreek should know better. You've had enough trouble already in your lifetime. Most of us, you, me, we never get in any of the trouble that Tyreek has been in already. Most of us never hit other women or people or anything. That just doesn't happen unless we're kind of defending ourselves. But outside of that, we don't go out of the way to hit other people. Okay? Allegedly, whatever. It just doesn't happen. Most of us, this is not a Tyreek thing, but most of us, we don't take guns to the airport. We don't pistol whip people. We don't carry illegal guns. We're not dealing in drugs. We're not going and buying keys and, whatever, all kinds of craziness. We're not doing any of those things. Okay? We're not bouncing illegal checks. Whatever it is that we've seen athletes get in trouble for in the past, you and I mostly, I'm going to be 57 October 1st. It's been pretty easy not to hit my wife for 30-something years. Or any other woman, by the way, for my 50 years of existence. It's pretty easy not to smack women. Not that hard. It's pretty easy not to commit armed robbery and murder. It's pretty easy not to commit hit and runs or something. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty easy not to commit any real crimes. It's not that hard for most of us. You guys go through most of your lives without it. Me too. So for me, it's really hard to even comprehend most of this shit that these idiots get in trouble with. So Rosendo is 1,000% right. Tyreek has got to know better. And if you're doing something wrong, don't be a dick about it. Hey, yo, guys, get off that boat. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry about that. Appreciate you looking out. Thank you. And move on. You're Tyreek Hill. They're going to give you a break as it is. But if you're going to be a dick about it, then this is what's going to happen. So he did something, unfortunately. And because of his past, he's probably going to face a suspension if there's video and if it's proven that he did hit a 57-year-old guy. Like, seriously, dude. Really? You had to smack the 57-year-old guy? Why? Because he was telling you that you were doing something you weren't supposed to be doing? Whatever it is? Come on, man. You just got to be smarter than that. That's all. And Tyreek, definitely not smart in that situation. Let's see. I can see the 2008 Patriots. I don't know, whatever. Orlando, where do you rank Pearl Jam? I don't know. They're just great. They're phenomenal. I love Pearl Jam. I don't know how I rank them, dude. You know what I'm saying? But they're awesome. I mean, I'm not going to start whipping out, like the top 100 bands and where they rank, but they're a great, great band. Big O, do you remember TRL with Carson Daly on MTV around 99, 2000-ish? Love that show. It was probably the time in my life I enjoyed music the most. Karoon, I was already out of MTV by that time. By that time, for me personally, MTV was not what I liked anymore. Okay? By, I think, the early 90s, I was pretty much dumping MTV because it already was going away from being actually a music channel, and there was all kinds of things like Pregnant in 16 and shit like that, and it was just stuff that I didn't want to watch, that I didn't really care about, to be quite honest. So by the end of the 90s, I was not an MTV guy anymore. You know what I mean? So for me, MTV, once you started adding like shows, I was kind of done. I liked it to be a pure music channel with news, concerts, and that's it. But once you started adding all kinds of other shows, I really didn't care about it, to be quite honest. I didn't mind the beach shows when they had, good bands. Obviously, I love the Unplugs, things like that. But once you started with the TV shows, I'm done. Let's see, what does it say here? Yevgeny Prigozhin breaks his silence, claiming his forces' advance towards Moscow was a protest and not an attempt to overthrow Putin. Yeah, not a good look for Putin, that's for sure. Let's see, suspension probably next season. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he'll be suspended a game or two here this season. I think he'll get at least a game. If he is found, if the video's out and he's guilty, he'll get at least a game. Big O, do you like the band Falling in Reverse? Don't know them, Frankie. I have no idea who they are, actually. I got to check them out. MTV Spring Break in the 90s was peak television. Yeah, if they had good bands, that was fun. That was fun. If Tyreek gets suspended, who do you think gets more of an expanded role? I got to see what develops, my brother. Let's see. I gotta see how everything plays out. Wouldn't put it past Goodell to suspend Tyreek conveniently for a playoff game or two. No. It'll be in the regular season where they suspend him. Okay, it won't be in the playoffs. I used to live like the I used to love, I guess, the VH1 Behind the Music series. Loved hearing all of the crazy stories from the bands. Yes, very good. Let's see. Are all the facts out about Hill's incident? Because all I see is people talking about how many games he will miss. Well, because that's part of it, because he has a history. And if he really hit the guy, he's going to get suspended, guys. There's no way around it. I'd love to tell you he's not going to get suspended, but if he hit the guy for real and it's on video, he's going to get suspended. At least a game. And see, the problem is that he's not fighting anything. He's not saying he never hit the guy. He's not saying that the guy's lying. Nothing. He's not saying, I'll clear my name. None of that is going on. Not Drew saying it, not Tyreek Hill saying it, nobody. They don't, even though there's an investigation, you can say, hey, my name will be cleared. I didn't do any of this. You can say that. That's not something they're going to hold against you in a court of law. That's nothing, not like some other people that, they go and do interviews and they're like completely incriminating themselves. People like that. But last time I checked, Tyreek has orange on his uniform, not on his face. Anyway, marinate on that one. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, Michelle Kaufman will join us at the top of the hour. Get her thoughts on Inter Miami, Messi, and the mess that team is in, because, boy, that is the sad part about what's going on. That team is not in good shape. Let's go with some birthdays today. Ariana Grande. Isn't she from Miami or South Florida somewhere? Isn't Ariana Grande from South Florida? Anyway, she is 30 years old today. Couple of other birthdays. Derek Jeter, the former Marlin great owner, 49 years old. Aubrey Plaza, she is 39. She is a trip. She's cool. I like Aubrey Plaza. She's one of those people that you want to hang out with and have a drink and bullshit with, because she's going to make you laugh. Iman Shumpert, former New York Knick, is 33 years old. Michael Vick is 43 years old today. Nick Offerman, actor, is 53. Shannon Sharp, we're waiting to see where he's going to go to work next. He is 55 years old. Let's see, what else do we have here? Rudy Gobert, looking to spread diseases. He's 31 years old. Chris O'Donnell, actor, 53 years old. Sean Hayes, also 53 years old. Those are some of the folks celebrating birthdays today. And in music history on this date, back in 2003, rock legends Deep Purple were deluged with emails after they announced that their new album was slated to be called Bananas. Fans were irate over the ridiculous name. In 1970, on this date, the Guess Who had a number one song in the country with American Woman. In 2000, Oasis released a statement on this date saying Noel Gallagher had left the band's European tour. It's believed he had been fighting with his brother and bandmate Liam over his drinking. In 77, on this date, the Eagles topped the albums charts with Hotel California. In 2005, Nine Inch Nails closed the Coachella Festival in California. Other performers that day included New Order and The Bravery. And in 2012, The Offspring released their 9th studio album, Days Go By. That is what happened in today in Música Historia. All right, we got that going on. Can we talk about some of you out there, you live in a delusional state, right? And some of you are going, all right, what are you talking about? Are you talking about me? I could be. You know how Dalvin Cook lives a delusional life in free agency, right? This guy thought that, along with some of you, teams are dying to trade for me. I want out. Teams are going to line up to trade for me. Right? You delusional folks out there, right? By the way, where are you people on the chat board that said they were going to trade for Dalvin Cook? What happened? Where are you? Can you at least check in and say, hey, I was wrong on that? Okay. Anyway. And so Dalvin Cook also thought he was going to get big money. I don't need Minnesota's big money. I'll go get more big money from somebody else. Hey, nobody's offering him big money. What a delusional state that young man is. Like a lot of you out there. Oh, remember some of you actually thought you're reporters? Some of you actually thought you had insight on the team when you don't have insight on anything. Okay? You guys don't even have insight on your own lives. You wouldn't even know what's going to happen in your own life, much less somebody else's life. But anyway, for those of you out there in your delusional state, I just want you to know that you are right there with Ice Cube. I saw a pretty funny article with Ice Cube. And talk about living in a delusional state. Ice Cube, the rapper and actor and co-founder of the 3-on-3 pro basketball venture known as Big 3, expressed his displeasure with the NBA and sports media landscape over the way his league is covered. In a video posted Sunday on his Twitter account, Ice Cube, whose real name is O'Shea Jackson, I don't know why they have to tell us this every time, accused the NBA and mainstream sports media of intentionally excluding his league. Some of you may not have realized I'm not a part of this club. And a lot of you listening to me right here, right now, you are not part of the club either. And what I realized is the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of the effing club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all know we got to deal with. You know who they are. Definitely you know who they are. And so the Big 3, which begins its 6th season, which I was amazed it's already 6 seasons, features 12 teams whose players are mostly former NBA contributors or younger players who are looking to break through. The season spans 10 weeks, tours several major markets. In the U.S., the league features several prominent Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame players, such as George Gervin, Gary Payton, Lisa Leslie. And that's cool. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Anyway. Hold on. Now this thing Now this thing got kind of like frozen, and so one of the paragraphs I can't read the way I needed to read it. Okay, so now a lot of people might say, but Cube, we want to work with the NBA. He continued, really? I don't give a crap about working with the NBA. What I want them to do is, when I work with us, is to stop working against us. And that's cool. We can do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Now, he did not elaborate what specific he claims that the NBA is doing against the Big Three. I got to tell you something. The NBA doesn't give a shit about the Big Three. They're not doing anything to try to stop the Big Three because the Big Three has only a whole bunch of over-the-hill players. Okay? And any young players worth watching, they're probably in the G League or somewhere in Europe or something like that. The Big Three sucks. Okay? The shit is unwatchable. Now, if you watch it, well, then, hey, man, more power to you. I think you're watching some lame-ass shit. I got a lot of better things to do than watch the Big Three. You know, sometimes they're not against you. Sometimes what you're doing is really not that good. That's all. It's not impressive watching old players play a 3-on-3 game half court. For that, I just go down to the park and go watch some of the young guys fly around in a full court, actually. Nobody's against you, Ice Cube. It's not that the media is against you or the NBA. You have no effect whatsoever on the NBA. You're not competing for the same players. So why would the NBA give a shit about you? A retirement league is not something that, you know, you look at minor league pro football, and it struggles to stay alive. The XFL just lost $60 million this year. And that's minor league football, which you would figure that minor league football has a chance to succeed in this country, and yet it doesn't. Do you think that the NFL is up against them? Do you think that the NFL media doesn't want to cover them? No, has nothing to do with that. The thing is, you all out there, you don't care about the XFL enough. You don't demand enough news from the XFL. You don't demand enough coverage from the XFL. So they don't give it to you because you don't demand it. And guess what you're also not demanding? Coverage of the Big Three. In the 6 years now, or 5 years complete that they've played, I had somebody mention the Big Three to me in its first year. In its first couple of weeks. Hey, did you check it out? Yeah, I saw it. I saw Jason Williams blow out his knee. I saw whatever. And I just said, this is not for me. And every time I've run into it, I've tried to give it some time. I did it last year again, where I ran into it once and I watched it for a couple of minutes, and I just can't watch this shit. Nobody's against you, O'Shea Jackson. Nobody cares about your league in the NBA. And NBA media, they don't have any demands of the Big Three, just like yours truly here. Nobody cares. So whatever is up your ass there, Ice Cube, you're making it all up because you don't make one bit of impact in the media, in ratings, in attention, in news, in the game itself. Nobody cares about the Big Three. We're not getting highlights in our local news. We're not getting the full breakdown on ESPN or anything like that. It's a joke. And for O'Shea Jackson to act like he's insulted by all of this, that's funny. That's really funny, I got to say. All right. Let's see. What do we got here on the chat board? Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We get 100% of the donation there. Carlos, thank you, sir. He says there's a way to increase subscribers on YouTube. I don't know. I guess you just do the shows and then you hope people find it. You hit the like button. That's very important. You got over 200 people. Let me see. Here you go. This is a way to get more subscribers. We have 94 likes and there's over 200 people watching. It doesn't really take much of an effort to hit the like button, and that gets it out to the algorithms more. So that is the important part, Carlos. That's how you get more people to follow your platform. So really, it's all about the like button. That helps out. Obviously, it helps out to reach out to our sponsors. We really need that. Thank you so much. But the other thing that you could do is hit that like button, please. Okay? That really goes along with it. It gets the algorithms out more, and so more Dolphins and Heat and Canes and Marlins and Panthers and Inter Miami fans will end up finding the show all over the world. So like button, baby. Like button is huge. Red says XFL, USFL could and might combine, and it's all about if the NFL can somehow benefit. They can from development aspect like minors. World Football League was just that. Yeah, but that thing didn't last at all. And we ended up losing our Dolphins players because of that. That sucked, dude. I remember when that happened. Jesus, man. That was pure horse shit. You know? Really sucks. All right. There we go. What do we got going on, by the way, in crypto? Bitcoin still over 30,000, over 30,400. So it's been around the 30,400 to 30,900. It almost got to 31. Jasmine had a nice weekend, stayed strong. It's still up 2% right now. So that's nice to see. I like that. Do me a favor, Sean. Give me a 30-second break. So when I come back, I want to talk something about Dalvin Cook that I think bodes well for the Miami Dolphins. 30 seconds more.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All right, folks, we are back in the middle of, or towards the end of hour number 2. Let's see. Mickey says, I'm a little bit on the younger side and didn't get it. What did Big O mean by orange face? Can't wait to see the answers for Mikey. You really don't pick up on orange face? Oh, man. That is funny. That is funny. Abel says, I'm hungover like a damn skunk. Go Fins. He meant Oompa Loompa? No. No. He says, take it easy on me. It went over my head. Wait till somebody actually gets the answer for you, and then you'll go, oh, that's right. And then you'll figure it out. You're young, but somebody a little older probably easily picked up. And have you listened to the show enough? I mean, I take enough shots at the orangutan as it is. Anyway. So, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook is one desperate young man. And I got to tell you something. This is, and I think it's actually happening exactly like I told you. Okay. I told you that the Dolphins were never going to trade for him. All right. Never happened. I told you the Dolphins weren't going to give him big money. Right. Didn't happen. And then I also told you that he's going to be shell-shocked at the fact that there isn't going to be a bunch of teams out there waiting to give him a whole bunch of money because nobody's giving him any money. Nobody's even making the kind of offer at all that he likes. He knows exactly where Miami stands. They have Miami's offer. They know exactly where Miami stands. And it's what I told you from the get-go. Okay? And now, the last week, he and his agent have been working this AFC East angle. And why do you think they've been working this AFC East angle and doing these interviews? And, oh, yeah, the Dolphins would be great. Oh, but the Jets, and then now the Patriots, and here's Jeremy Fowler and Diana Rossini, and, you know, they're throwing out these other teams. And it all seems to be coming from the AFC East. Why is that? Is Dalvin Cook, does he really care about the Patriots? No. Does he really care about the Jets? No. Does he care about the Dolphins? Oh, yeah. Oh, he wants to play for his hometown team badly. But he just realized that he lost $10.5 million from the Vikings, and he's now realizing that he's not going to make it back. So now he's holding out hope, and I don't know if he's holding out hope for some kind of an injury where somebody is desperate, because if all things are sort of equal, he ends up in Miami. And as I've told you, which is, I told you they wouldn't trade for him. I told you they wouldn't give him big money. And all these people, oh, when he becomes available, the Dolphins are going to pounce. No, they're not. And sure enough. And then I told you, what else did I tell you? I told you that he's probably going to end up realizing that the deals that are out there, sure, I can go to the Jets for $1.5 million more, but when it comes to taxes and moving and everything else, why would I do that? Let me just go to Miami and I'll save myself with taxes and everything else. I already got a crib down here. I'm fine. Boom. Save myself some money, and I'll play for my hometown team for a 1-year contract. If I was listening to the Denver Broncos or the Houston Texans or the Seattle Seahawks or the Los Angeles Rams or the Detroit Lions or the New Orleans Saints, or, you know, if we were hearing about other teams involved and that they're interested in him and that they're bringing him in, that they really want him and all that, have you heard it? No. What's the coincidence? Why is it only the AFC East? Huh? Why? Because he's trying to use the Bills and the Jets to get to the Dolphins. And Chris Greer's sitting there going, bro, we told you what we can offer you. Okay? We want you, but we can't overpay for you. We can't. We have 3 backs that we love. We're not getting rid of the 3 backs. You can come and join our team and make our team better, but we're not here to make you the number 1 back. That's not how the coach plays the game. The coach is going to use everybody, and if you got a hot hand that day, well, then it might be you, it might be Jeff Wilson, it might be Raheem Mostert, and it might be A-Chain. But he's going to use the hot hand at times too. So if there are moments where you're hot, Dalvin, then he'll keep milking you. But if another week it's Mostert, he's going to stay with Raheem. So it's a committee here. We don't do the bell cow thing. He knows that now. He knows everything. And as I keep seeing how this game is being played on the Dalvin agent side, I keep thinking this bodes well for Miami. Okay. And by the way, for all of you out there that wanted to trade for Dalvin or sign him right away, notice what kind of a terrible GM you guys are. Because you didn't need to trade for him. And lots of you were willing to give up a pick for him or two or whatever they were going to pick. Either you give up a higher pick or several lower picks or whatever it is. Or, oh no, you're going to sign him right away. Neither one happened. Nobody signed him right away. Nobody traded for him. So it also goes to show a lot of you out there, you have no feel for what the running back position is really, what it really means in the NFL and how it's really treated. And now you guys are getting that brutal lesson along with Dalvin Cook. But I got to say, the Miami Dolphins and Chris Grier have handled this perfectly. And as time goes on, unless there's an injury somewhere in the NFL that puts a team in serious jeopardy, Miami has handled this perfectly and could end up with Dalvin Cook on a very affordable contract. All right. Oh, do you think Cook's chances of being a Dolphin have increased due to Tyreek's situation? No, that has nothing to do with that. It has zero to do with that. I think it has to do with him not finding anything and him desperately using the Jets and the Patriots to try to get the Dolphins to move a little bit more. Big O, are you a fan of the band Paramore? They are a great band, and the lead singer has a killer voice. Going to see them next week in New Orleans. They are good. I like Paramore. I've seen them in Rockville. They were at Rockville, God, like 6 years ago. I went with my boy Greep, and I remember seeing Paramore there. Good band. Let's see. He's trying to use the Bills and Jets, etc., as bargaining chips. Yes, he is, PDC. Chris Johnson says those contracts are set up for them very easily to get out with the running backs. Yes. I just have an issue with signing older players when we have two younger backs with the same exact yards per carry he had last year. That's why they're not overpaying, Red. That's why they will add him and add the depth. But they're not going to go crazy. And yes, Kareem Hunt is still available, Rosendo. Scotty Saylor. Hey, Thaler. Says, hey, I'll admit I was delusional on Dalvin Cook worse than Boder Cube. Any thoughts on the game tonight? Let's hope Seabass and the Gators do a Monday night stinky. Hoist that cafecito, brother. There you go. I have no thoughts on the game tonight, bro. I don't follow it enough. I don't follow it enough to give you any thoughts on it, to be quite honest. Miami Sports Fanatics Show says they could just get Kareem Hunt for luxury. He will be less expensive and okay with minimum touches as well. Can run hard and catch. Less tread on his tires too. Yes. But there's a reason why he's still out there. Nobody wants to sign him. Dalvin Cook at a high salary. That was the problem. Nobody wanted to take that contract. I know. I tried to explain to people that, Chris, for a couple of months, I tried to explain to people that, but whatever. Greg Wood for a position that touches the ball the second most only to the QB. Why do you think the running back is so devalued? Because they can replace you easily. Unless you're Derrick Henry, unless you're like this freak that you've got no choice, that you can't get something like this anywhere, and it'll completely change the complexion of your team, then everything else is interchangeable. So if you have a great line, then, hey, we can win with Jeff Wilson and we can win with Raheem Mostert. And if Dalvin Cook's there, we'll win with him also. And we'll win with whatever back as long as we have a line and a quarterback. And that's kind of the way they think. And then on top of all of that, it's a collision position, which also brings a lot of injuries, as you've seen Dalvin Cook with the shoulder, and he's missed 27 games in his career already. Okay, so he's missed a lot of games. He misses a couple of games every single year pretty much. Okay, so that's been an issue for Dalvin Cook, you know. So I think that's why it's been devalued a little bit. A lot, actually. So they'll get guys and they won't draft them high. They'll draft in the middle to late rounds. This way they only need one contract. And they don't get even a second contract. There aren't a lot of positions anymore there aren't very many positions in the NFL where teams are just saying, one contract with the guy's enough. And that's running back now. Running back has become a one contract position in general, because you're not drafting them high in the first round anymore. Those are very few and far between, the players you're doing that. And if you do that, it's because you're convinced that guy is incredibly special. And yet Dalvin Cook is not thought of that way by anybody in the NFL. Let's see exactly. Those who are tripping out for him are thinking emotionally. Yeah, and the Miami thing. As we've talked about this, right? The silliness of the Miami thing. When it's a Miami player, we have that portion of the Miami fan base, especially that lives in South Florida. Bro, they poison the waters even more with their silliness of Miami. It's just ridiculous. Knowing the NFL and the Finns, Big O, do you think Tyreek gets suspended? I do. I think he gets at least one game. Yeah. So I would not be surprised if game one he's not there. Creating imbalance with our books for older high contracts for running backs isn't done by good teams, and we are finally good in the front office. Exactly. Alvin Kamara is about to play in the upcoming season and was able to play last year with his indictment. I'm not worried at all about the Tyreek Hill situation. Yeah, so if anything, I think he only gets like a game, so it's not the end of the world. If he misses a game, it doesn't really matter. I'm not that worried. Wonder what Walter Payton's value would be today. That would be pretty impressive. Big O, this is why he should take a contract to Miami. He won't be used a lot, and also minimum playing $2 million. Hey, by the way, send Michelle a message, please. There. Okay. All right. Do people not understand we don't need? No, they don't understand that. They think that, I like I said, if this was a lineman, something tells me the Dolphins would be scooping him up right away and trying to sign him. But running back is not a position that they feel like, oh my God, we've got to get this guy. If we don't get this guy, we are absolutely screwed. It's over for us. And too many of you are like that. Only megabacks get second contracts. Yeah. And there aren't any megabacks anymore. Big O, if the running backs and the agents are smart, when you get drafted, you have to hold out until you get better offers. No, you can't. It's slotted already when you get drafted, my brother. That's they wiped that out already. That whole thing about giving rookies a whole bunch of money like they used to, those days are done. Thank God, by the way, because that was bad when you were paying a ton of money to people who are completely unproven. I think that makes zero sense. Okay. The best punishment for a dude like Tyreek would be to take some of that cheetah money away. Well, if you get suspended for a game or two, you are going to lose those game checks. So yeah, you're also going to lose money. But it's just for Tyreek, come on, man. Seriously? You're smacking a 57-year-old man. For what? Because you were screwing up? Those are things that just make no sense whatsoever. And he had it going on here, man. He was working it the right way. He was having, connecting with the community and having, success and things like that. Carlos says, do shorts every day, have 14,000 subs. Well, we have 18, but I get what you're saying. We'll pick up 14,000 more. Okay. Michelle Kaufman says she's joining us in 2 minutes. So we'll get the latest from that situation and see what happens there. So I kind of like everything that's going on with the Dalvin Cook situation because it might end up being I've already predicted what went on with Dalvin. I told you that, there'd be no trade and there'd be no big money. And so then I also told you that it looks like as time goes on, he'll end up signing a friendly deal with the Dolphins because he's going to see there are no big deals out there for him. So we'll find out. This is leading right up to help the Dolphins out. Dalvin looks like he's coming here for a lesser deal. But the question is, does Dalvin and his agent wait till training camp starts and see if there's injuries? Does he do that? That'll be the main question. Okay, are they willing to wait all the way to training camp? And then more teams have used some cap space up. It just becomes a tougher situation for him. We shall see. The party's over, Bubba says. Reek should just say he had a fly on his head. Oh, that is funny. That is funny. First and foremost, McDaniel has to show that he's committed to running the ball. Well, he said it already, Oscar. He even apologized to Raheem Mostert for not running enough. So the stuff that some of us, including yours truly here, ripped him, because I like McDaniel a lot, but the running thing pissed me off a little bit. He screwed up there, and I'm glad he addressed it and acknowledged that he screwed up, and he should have run the ball more. It could have helped this team out big time, especially in that Buffalo Green Bay game. Those were very winnable if you keep running and running the way you were running. So I'm hoping Lechenberg kills it at center. Oh, you're talking about Eichenberg. And Williams goes back to guard. Yeah, that's not going to happen, Red. Connor is going to be your center. Okay. All righty. Let's switch gears here in hour number 3. Let's talk a little Inter Miami. Over the weekend, it was ugly on Saturday as they lose 4-1. Michelle Kaufman does an excellent job of covering Inter Miami on a daily basis for the Miami Herald. Let's bring her aboard. Michelle, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you? Sorry I was late. It's a busy time with Inter Miami and Gold Cup and some other stuff. So I'm going up to Fort Lauderdale up and down every day.
Aren't you part Cuban?
Huh?
Aren't you part Cuban?
Yes, I am. Fully Cuban. Both of my parents, Cuban Jewish.
Okay. All right. So,
we're Cubans.
Not the Jewish part, but the Cuban part, you're supposed to be late. So,
Right, that's true.
Cuban
time. Yes.
Yeah. It's Cuban
12
time.
o'clock means 12:07, 12:08, somewhere around there. Somewhere around noon.
My wife was late to her own wedding. I mean, it's just Cubans will be late to their own funerals. It's just it's kind of the way we roll, man. It's just who we are.
That's right. We're not so big about rules. We're not so big about rules.
No, we're not big on that. All right, Michelle. Saturday was ugly, and I know they're kind of depleted. They've had several injuries. I I just, this is, to get too deep into the team right now, it's not worth it at this point. But what I start thinking when I'm sitting there, and you wrote an article about this, and I've talked about it on the show, they need to fix this because it's going to be embarrassing for Adidas, for Nike, for the MLS, and for the Moss brothers if Messi gets here and they just play a couple of regular season games and then that's it. And he's watching the playoffs with the rest of us. And that'll be catastrophic for all these parties involved if they don't get to showcase Messi in the playoffs. And it's just looking like it's almost impossible to ask Messi to get here and turn this entire thing around and put him into the playoffs.
I agree. I mean, it's going to be the word I used today in my story today is a monumental task. I mean, even with they have him and Busquets now, and they're going to have a new coach, any day now. But you're asking, the team they're in dead last. They have 15 points. And another reporter and I were doing some calculations. And, you're probably going to need minimum 40, 45 points, to be on the edge of making the playoffs. So they've got 15 points off 18 games. They've got to get, they have to get 30 plus points over the next 16 games. They've got to get results. They've got to start getting results. I believe they may be the only team. I have to look at the standings. They have no ties the entire season. I don't think they've had one tie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no.
I think they have no ties.
Austin has 4 ties, and you're playing them this week, and that's one of the reasons why they have more points than you. They have another win. They have another win or 2 more than you, but they also have the 4 ties, which
they have ties, and most of the teams have ties. Inter Miami's like the only one or one of the only ones that has no ties the entire season, 18 games. They've played 18 games, so they're in bad shape. They're in really bad shape right now, and you have to believe that the morale. I mean, first of all, the fact that these guys are playing, not knowing what their future is. You're talking about everyone out there is talking about this guy's coming, that guy's coming, and so is coming. But that means someone's leaving, If people are coming, that means people are also going to be leaving. So all of these guys that are on that team now are kind of walking on eggshells, wondering, what is their future going to be? I just think it's a team that at the moment, I mean, the entire gamble is on when Messi arrives and going forward. It just feels like everything to this point has just been like placeholders for the real plan, which was the Messi, second half of the season. The first half of the season has been really a struggle. First with Phil, a limited roster. They did not invest money in the first half of the season because they were saving it all for what's coming now. It's been a limited roster, and to begin with, and then they had the injuries, very bad injuries, like almost, not season ending, but all the way maybe till September, losing Gregory right away, your captain, losing Mota like 2 games after that. Coco Jean now having surgery. You've got 3 guys who has surgery, 3 midfielders surgery. This last game, they were very depleted. They were missing Yedlin, who's on with the Gold Cup with US. They were missing Kamal Miller, who's in the Gold Cup with Canada. They were missing Sergei Kristov, who's having visa issues. He went back to Ukraine to play some friendlies over the international break, and there's visa situations going on. So, you had 3 of your 4 starting back out, and they played with a roster that had 8 academy products, 4 of them starting. Now, this is nothing against those young guys. Those young guys are young talents, whatever, but they are, they're young players. They're not seasoned veteran players, and you had 4 of them in the starting lineup and 8 on the roster. So, they're going to bring Messi into a team. I mean, I'm assuming that he's been doing the research and knows what he's getting into, but he's coming onto a team for the first time in his life. I'm sure that he's coming into a last place team. The teams he has played on, let's count them: Barcelona, PSG, Argentine national team. Okay. All three of those teams that he's played on his entire career are
Elite.
here.
Yeah.
Elite of the elite. And all of his teammates for all of those years have been elite of the elite. He is now coming to a team that is in a building phase in MLS in last place, dead last. And this is the team that he's coming to. So it's a very big project, even with one or two or three of his former European teammates coming over, which it could end up being that they're going to have, Jordi Alba also, or some other, one or two other people. There could be as many as four, players with some big pedigrees coming in. But even with that, if you dug a hole already that's so deep, it's going to be really hard. It's not like Messi's going to come in and just win every game. He's going to have to get accustomed to the style of play over here. Wayne Rooney mentioned it the other day. Gonzalo Higuain has mentioned it last year. It takes a while for these guys who come from Europe to get acclimated to the style of play, because the skill level is not, with some of the players, don't have the skill level and technique that players are used to in Europe. They rely on physicality and speed. They're going to be knocking him around. They're going to be knocking little Messi around. And, yes, he will be protected, I'm sure, some by the refs and all that. But if players don't have the particular skill to deal with Messi, they're going to use other measures. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
I'm with you.
He's going to have to get.
See, the thing is, I follow this league, and now, 25 years ago, we would say, he's coming over, he's going to dominate. The problem is we've watched the Chicharritos and the Wayne Rooneys, and we've watched guys like come here, Higuain, and actually struggle. We have seen name players that are stars all over the place, and then they come here and they struggle, and some of them don't even
and
get
they
it.
get frustrated. They get struggle.
They
One,
either
they
leave
struggle.
or eventually
Two, they get frustrated. And then they start this with their teammates, and then starts problems in the locker room. It's not.
It's what Rooney said.
It's not like a Lego set that you just plug. You're not just going to be able to just plug him in and everything is going to light up and the whole team is going to be winning every game. That is not. Anybody who thinks that is extremely naive, very, very naive, and has not been following this league.
And so Lionel is joining a Messi. That's what's going to end up happening. And so this is, what I'd be interested if you actually can reach people in like Adidas and Apple and all that and talk to them. So what if Messi doesn't make the playoffs? I mean, they've got to be freaking out about that right now. You know what I mean? And so here's the other thing. Neville didn't, in my eyes, he did not deserve to get fired. His team was not.
I don't think so either. No.
So did they fire him because they weren't satisfied, or did they fire him because they knew the Messi move was coming and you're going to bring a Messi coach, not a guy that's here already that Messi may not want to play with? Messi's going to want to pick his own coach, that kind of stuff. So how far does that Messi power go? Because if you're giving him all this money and all these huge entities are also teaming up with him, I can imagine that he's going to have a lot of more influence in so many other things. So is Tata Marino or whoever gets hired, is he getting hired because that's the guy that Messi approves? Or is the new coach getting hired because they truly did not like Neville and thought he was not the guy?
My educated gut feeling, what I would say is that this is Messi's team now. This is like LeBron. This is Messi's team. Okay. He's not the owner, but he does have equity in the team now as well when his playing days are over. Part of his deal, part of the $130 to $150 million total package deal is the equity in the team when he's done with his playing days. So he is in essence going to be, part owner of this team once he stops playing. He's absolutely going to have influence. I am there's no question he's going to at least have to sign off on the coach. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he made a condition. I'm not saying, and I don't know, but I'm not saying that he made a condition like I will only come if Tata Martino is the coach. You know, I don't think they're that tight that it's that kind of thing. But if he wanted, you know, if they felt and he felt that a Latin American coach who's already coached him in Barcelona and Argentina, a coach who is from Argentina, a coach who won MLS in his second season with Atlanta United, you know, with Joseph Martinez as the star of that team, a guy who has coached Pizarro with the Mexican national team. There are many boxes that Tata checks off, but the fact that he's from Argentina and has coached Messi on 2 occasions, I am sure that that makes Messi more comfortable than coming into a team with Phil Neville, whom he doesn't know, and who would be the original regime that's here, and he would have to fit in. Messi would have to fit in to Phil's way of doing things and to Phil's regime, as opposed to Messi and a new coach come in together and just start a whole new chapter, you know, with Messi, with Busquets, with Tata, with whoever else comes, a whole new, it'll be like, you know, Jorge Mas said that one of the quotes that he said in the press and the thing that I did with him the other day was, you know, that forever it's going to be MLS history and US soccer history is going to be known as before Messi and after Messi. That when we talk about the history of US soccer, this is a seminal moment. He said, the seminal moment in US soccer is the arrival of Messi. And it's the same with this club. I mean, this club is going to be pre-Messi, post-Messi. He's not just one player. He's a player that's going to wield so much influence. Like you said, I mean, Apple is relying on it. Adidas is relying on it. Fanatics, I've heard, is in contract talks with him. Other companies as well. So, you know, there is a lot riding on this deal. And he, you know, Inter Miami needs to turn things around and they need to become a contender. They need to be in the playoff picture. And it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. So, yeah, I think, you know, I think that Phil had no chance. Now, I don't know if they had won a whole bunch of games, if they were on a big winning streak, I don't think they could have just fired Phil and said, well, sorry, you've been winning you have a winning record and you're in 3rd place, but we just feel like it's time for a change. You know, I don't think that would have happened. But considering where the team was and that they had lost 6 in a row, I think they felt like, let's clean house. Let's bring in a new coach with Messi and start everybody new. And the fact that this new coach is probably going to be from Argentina and probably will have already coached Messi if it's who we think it is. You know, I think that's all part of the grand plan.
One of our listeners, Frankie, is asking if Messi will be playing away games where the ground is turf, that he heard that he does not play on turf fields. Any truth to that?
That's a big question that a lot of people have, because obviously most of the top players around the world do not like turf. They hate it. In fact, they really hate turf. But here's what's going to come into play. Stadiums, for example, Atlanta is opening up. What I heard is, I think it's true, they're opening up the upper deck for the Inter Miami game up there. They are talking about selling upwards of 60,000 tickets for that game. Those tickets are to see Messi, you know? And so what happens if Atlanta sells 60 or 65,000 seats for people to see Messi? Is Messi going to say, I'm sorry, guys, I just don't play on turf?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't
think that understanding would have already been talked about. Because
I don't know the answer to that question. I do know that when Messi comes, whenever he comes and whenever he does talk to us for the first time, that will definitely be among the questions that will be asked in the press conference. Will you play on turf?
I think he will, because this is the final run of his career. He's going to get $500 million. He has to play on concrete if they ask him to play on concrete at this point in time. He's not what's there to save yourself for now at this point? You're playing, dude. You're committed. You know that this is a league that you're joining that does have several fields that have turf on it. So I think those owners would have already known this ahead of time if that was going to be an issue. And I think
They would have had to ask him. I mean, they would have had to at least ask him, Yeah.
They have to. They have to. So yeah, that to me is something that he has to have already addressed that one way or another. But again, I'm sure it's something you guys will end up asking him once he does join the team. Now, Cruz Azul is the official first game. Which is the first regular season game that he's going to play in?
The first regular season game would be on August 20th. Sunday, August 20th, a home game against Charlotte. And then Saturday, August 26th at New York Red Bulls.
So how many?
August.
So
because there's a tournament in the middle. Because
right.
The Nations League, the Nations Cup tournament is the whole month. From July to August, there's no MLS. They're taking a break.
Okay, so how many games does he end up playing with the team? Like 10? 9?
He'll end up playing no. He'll end up playing let's see. He would end up playing if he's going to miss. So there are 16 games left right now, okay? There are 16 games left. He's going to miss the games he's going to miss 1, 2, 3. I think he's going to miss, or is that US Open Cup? I think he's only going to miss 2 or 3 games. So he will play
15
out
games?
of 16. I guess he'll play 13.
13 games.
13 regular season games.
Wow. Okay. Man.
And they need 30 points. They need 30 plus. The math is they're going to need 30 plus points between now and the end of the season. Over 16 games, 30 plus points.
They've got to go on a crazy winning streak. I mean, it's the only way.
They've got to win these next 2. They have 2 games this weekend. They have Saturday and then they have Tuesday, both at home. This Saturday they have Austin. Tuesday on July 4th, they have Columbus at home.
They're not winning.
They really need to, huh?
They're not beating Columbus. They got a shot against
they need to beat Austin.
They got a shot against Austin, but I don't know about Columbus is pretty good,
but they're
right?
still not going to. By the way, just so you know, Gold Cup is still going on, so they still will not have Yedlin, and they still won't have Kamal. Those 2 are playing in Gold Cup. So from now until the end of Gold Cup, they're not going to have Yedlin and they're not going to have Kamal in the back. And Kristoff, I don't know right now what the situation is with his visa. Hopefully if he can get back, that's one more starter. By the way, forgot to mention, let's pile on some more news. Negri.
Does he know there's MasterCard and American Express? Does he have to use Visa? All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. No.
Negri got injured, by the way. Franco Negri, who's actually been one of the better players on the team. He got injured in the game the other night. It looked pretty serious. It's a knee injury. He was having MRIs. I don't know the results yet of the MRI. It is possible that it will be yet another injury to a starter, which means that would be another starter out from the back, which means, for these games this weekend, I mean, based on how he looked Saturday night, it's hard to imagine that he'll be ready for this Saturday to play a game, in which case they'd be missing Negri, Kamal Miller, and Yedlin from the back line, all 3 against Austin.
And by the way, Columbus has 31 points to our 15. There's no way we'd be.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with I know Austin's not that good, so maybe, but again, God, they're at such a disadvantage right now.
It's really tough. They're a big disadvantage. It's a deep hole. It is a deep, deep hole, and Messi is supposed to be the Messiah. I mean, Messi is supposed to come in and save this team, save this franchise, spread MLS around the world. It's a huge responsibility that he's
Yeah,
taking on. It's a huge
you know what's
responsibility.
gonna happen,
It is.
right? You know what's gonna happen. We're gonna have you and I don't count, okay? Because the hardcore, those fans that are in the stands, the supporters, those people are smart. We're gonna understand the situation, but the general fans gonna say, "Oh, they got Messi and they couldn't even make the playoffs." Well, yeah, that guy really makes a difference. They suck, this, that, and then there's no context going to be added to it. And so for a lot of people, they're going to look at it and it's going to look like a disaster for the
Yeah.
team, the league, all of that okay, so you brought the most important player in the world and you put him on one of the worst teams in the world? How does that make any sense? That kind of stuff. So I'm going to feel bad for Inter Miami in that sense and I'm going to feel bad for Messi because there's going to be a lot of people that aren't really going to look at this for what it is. This is a really tough situation that they're putting Messi in. I think it's nearly an impossible situation to even get into the playoffs, to be quite honest.
But if they do,
yeah,
what a story. And if they do, there will be fans all over the world. Millions of fans will be tuning in on Apple to watch Inter Miami in the playoffs. I mean, it's a gamble. It's a gamble. But if they win, they also have US Open Cup. By the way, there's only 2 games left. And he apparently has been putting a big emphasis. He wants to win the first. He would like to come in and like his first 2 games, like win a cup, win the US Open Cup with Inter Miami. And that, so I don't know. I mean, it's a tall task. It's a tall task, but it's going to be him. It's going to be Busquets. There may be 2 others or so. So maybe they're going to have 4 new players, maybe in the starting lineup. But they still have the injuries to the other guys. You still have, even if it's 4, 7 of the guys are the guys that you still have from this roster.
Right.
So they're going to have to, and obviously, yes, when you have great players around you, you play better and the whole team elevates. And maybe the addition of a new coach is going to be a spark to everybody. And if that can do, or whoever can do what, I mean, if it turns around, it's a great story. If it turns around, it's a great story.
Yeah.
If they don't, it's going to be a tough one to explain, like you said, to the general public. Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Troy says, "Oh, how is Michelle's Spanish? ¿Tú practica el español?"
Sí, yo hablo español muy bien. Mis padres son cubanos. No hay problema.
Okay. I struggle with my Spanish because I'm out of practica. So yeah, I definitely struggle with my Spanish. I used to do Spanish sports talk, like 30 years ago.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when you cover soccer, a lot of the interviews are in Spanish.
Right.
I mean, with this team, if you're talking to Stefanelli, it's in Spanish. If you're talking to Negri, it's in Spanish. You're talking to Campana, it's in Spanish. Pizarro is in Spanish. I mean, we're talking about Messi. Yeah, but I'm talking about even the players that are there now. Yeah. Busquets will be in, all these guys, all the interviews are in Spanish. The reporters who struggle more are the ones who don't speak Spanish. Right. Most of the interviews are exclusively in Spanish, and then there's a few English questions, and they have a translator. So you're much better off if you speak Spanish. And now with this new group that's coming in, I think it's going to be even more Hispanic influence.
Oh, yeah. I know if I ran a paper, I wouldn't put a baseball beat person if they weren't bilingual. You know what I mean? And soccer, I would want my reporter to be bilingual also, because if not, you're at a disadvantage if you're not bilingual.
You have to be a real grinder. I mean, our guy Jordan McPherson does not speak Spanish, but I mean, he works his tail off. He works his tail off, and he makes up for it with just sheer willpower and work ethic. But it's hard when you don't speak Spanish. Even if you don't hear, like, if there's chatter in the clubhouse and you don't know what they're saying, you know what I mean? Like, you can't always have a translator. Hey, what did they say? What are they saying? What did they say? Right. So he does a really good job of overcoming the language barrier, but it's much easier when you do speak the language. Yes.
I remember when we added Livon for like a week or 2, I had to translate. I was on the beat, and then they brought in, because Colangelo was our head guy, if you remember.
Right.
And then they brought in this Hispanic guy so he could then do it, because for like a week and a half, it was like, hey, oh, what's Levon saying? And I would have to like kind of translate for guys because they didn't speak Spanish, so they whether it
Right.
was or any of the guys that were there, like what would he say, And then they brought, I forgot the guy's name, but they specifically brought in a PR guy that had to be bilingual because they didn't have one at that moment. And then all of a sudden with Levon, things got a little hairy there because Levon became the biggest thing, with the whole welcome, I love Miami and all that stuff. And so he was
Right,
like,
right. Was it John Eric? Did John Eric come in that early? John Eric Alvarez, or was that later? Because I
I
know he
think,
does a lot of the Spanish translation.
no, I think
I'm
that
not
was
sure.
late. It was an
Yeah.
older guy. He was a little older than I was. I was a little
Okay, that
young.
wasn't John Eric. Yeah.
No. If I remember the guy, if you
Okay.
say the guy's name, I'll remember. But he was here for a short time. He wasn't here
Yeah.
very
Okay.
long, So Ron
Yeah.
Colangelo, by the way, good dude. Good dude. Is he? Where is he? Is he
I
in
have no
San
idea.
Diego or he's somewhere? I forgot where he's at. But anyway. All right. So what do you got going on in the
Okay.
Herald? Can check you out.
Oh, well, I'm covering the Gold Cup right now, today and tomorrow. Cuba's playing tonight. Tonight is Costa Rica against Panama is the game that I'm covering, and then there's a game El Salvador against Martinique that our intern is going to cover right before at 6:30. I'm covering the 8:30 game, and then tomorrow Cuba against Guatemala tomorrow night at Tri Ping Stadium. So I'm covering Gold Cup today and tomorrow. I am also on the coach search watch. So be on alert for that over the next few days. And also the who else, other messy friends who may
And
be
we got
joining.
by the way, we got
I'm on
lucky.
the messy friend watch. What?
We got lucky the other night. We had a lot of chances and we could not convert until it was the 87th minute or something, and we finally got one, man. Because damn, we had
the
a lot of
US.
chances.
Yeah, you're talking about the US against Jamaica. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The
So
Reggae
anyway,
Boys.
yeah. So yeah, I've got Gold Cup and then Inter Miami coach search and Inter Miami. Which other messy friends will be joining?
There you
A
go.
lot going on.
Thank you, Michelle. As always, you are awesome. Follow her on Twitter at Koff Sports and catch her work there at the Miami Herald. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate you. There you go. The great Michelle Kaufman. We love her. I want the soccer reporter. Oh, wow. Let's see. The usual stuff. Once it starts training here in a few, the store will quiet down. I don't know what that means. Nothing else to talk about right now. So soccer is it. Question for Michelle: what did Team USA do wrong against Jamaica? Can it be fixed? We're not that good, bro. We're just not that good. We're not well coached. U.S. soccer is a mess. We can't figure out. It's all, Dougie. Everything with U.S. soccer is what's wrong with it is top to bottom. How we go about it, how we produce players, how we train our players, how we put together the national team. Everything is the coaches we use. We have no creativity. We have to then. We're kind of like TV and the movie business. That what we do is we just hash over the same people over and over again, and we're hiring the same coaches over and over again, and we don't move forward. Or as Riley would say, forward. All right, we got to move forward. And we don't move forward. It's everything about U.S. soccer is a disaster. And with our resources, our athletes, there's no reason at all. By now, we should be a soccer power. But we don't do things the right way. It's funny how the MLS can grow, but U.S. soccer can't. Just think about that one. MLS soccer has grown from its infancy days to where it's at now. It's a much better league. It's attracting better players. It actually has youth in it nowadays. That's something it didn't have before, that it was all a retirement league. MLS has moved forward, bro. They're about to hit 30, right? I think it is, right? With San Diego, that becomes the 30th team. They have grown like crazy. Ratings, attendance, money, everything's grown. U.S. soccer, brother, we don't make any progress. I still go with our teams in the early 90s as our best teams ever. And yet, we have some guys from the Reynas and the Pulisics and all these other cats, we've got some young guys that can play ball. They're pretty damn good. But our coaching, our everything about U.S. soccer is just ass backwards. So that's our problem. Both of my supervisors are out today, so I can be a corporate time-stealing weasel today. Nice job by you, Ragin. Marcellus is checking in from Opelika. Opelika, Hialeah is the place to be. Opelika, Hialeah. Too many sports in America. Not enough. It's the way I look at it. Not enough. You say too much, I say not enough. That's your fault because you don't like soccer. That's all. That's why you say it's not enough. But not for me, bro. Hockey, soccer, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. I love it. I watch them all, and I enjoy the hell out of it. Boxing, MMA, you name it. I watch it all, support it all, love it all. I've always been a sports freak. Always. I love sports, period. So what can I tell you? What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? The only thing I can tell you is that Cutter's Edge Pro knows how to get it done. Great people out there, William and Mike. And listen, if you've mistreated your yard or haven't really taken it to the next level and you're not happy the way your house looks, have you ever thought about landscaping and what can it do? And even in your backyard where you can just create more trees, more shade, and just create a more friendly and comfortable environment for you. Since we added all those trees in our backyard now, it is really cool. We had blue jays yesterday in the yard, had a pair, right? Because certain trees that we have attract butterflies. It's pretty cool. You have some bees, they don't bother you, so it's cool. All that kind of stuff, man. It's really, really cool to kind of see that the backyard now has life to it, And I used to just close the shade of my backyard when it was just plain Jane and all the dogs did was their business back there and nothing else. And it was just grass and weeds back there. Now with the artificial turf and all the trees and the shade and the life that has come, to our backyard, it is really, really cool, man. So freaking cool. And this is why I encourage you. Plus, you're going to be doing more things in your backyard once you actually have the landscaping. And in the front yard, you'll get all the people going by and complimenting you on how good it looks. Call the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro, whether you want to take your business, your HOA complex, you name it, condominium complex, you name it, or your house to the next level. Call William and Mike, 954-472-0622. And I've been telling you about the synthetic turf now for about 9 months now that we've had it. And it is amazing. So easy to maintain. The dogs love it. Okay? And it's going to save you hundreds and thousands in the long run. Why? Because for the next several years, you're not watering the lawn all the time and you're not cutting the grass every 10 to 14 days like we all do here in South Florida. So whether you live in Dade, Broward, or Palm Beach counties, please reach out to the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. 954-472-0622. We are into hurricane season now, tree trimming and removals, and maybe you got trees and branches hitting your house or close to cables. Please don't get on ladders and on roofs and do the stuff that's crazy and could put you at risk. Call the professionals at Cutter's Edge Pro. They will trim those trees down and all those loose branches and clean it all up so it's not flying around. God forbid we get hit by a storm and those branches are the ones that are going to be flying into your home. We want to eliminate that stuff. Call the people at Cutter's Edge Pro, 954-472-0622. And wrestling too, Tua Time says. That's right. I'm not an anti-wrestling guy. I may not know shit about wrestling. but I don't diss it or anything like that. Okay, not my thing, but I know a lot of people love it, and that's why I encourage that dude that works with me to do his thing when it comes to wrestling because he knows his stuff. Plus, I know he loves it on top of all of that. Can't wait to see him and Frankie doing a show like live at a WWE event or something like that. Maybe the Root Beer League, AEW, something like that. That's what we need to do. So, Inter Miami sucks, and Messi is in for some trouble. My God, that poor man is going to step into this, and he's going to step into a giant turd. The USA team was good when Landon Donovan and Clint Dempsey led the charge. Yeah, they were pretty decent then. Still not better than, Brian McBride and Claudio Reyna and all those cats, Marcelo Balboa and all. I'll take those teams any day of the week and twice on Sundays. Okay. Big O, so how did you wind up as a sports talk guy instead of a rock radio DJ? Because sports is my number one passion, outside of obviously my daughter and my wife, and my dogs. Sports is my number one passion, dude. And that's something that listening to Ed Kaplan and Hank Goldberg are the things that inspired me. Ed Kaplan, number one. That was my number one, mentor and inspiration and all of that. And I would listen to Ed every night. And Ed's the one that, that's what I want to do. So I got into it there and didn't get into the music side of it. So almost had a chance to do the music thing. But I think some politics got in the way. I'm not going to really delve too much into it. But, I think some politics got in the way because I think anyway, whatever. But, but that's the only thing I still would do rock DJ for the hell of it, for fun. Not that I would ever stop doing this. All right, let's see. Oh, there he is. The man, the myth, the legend that is Sean Williams, baby. Essential Moving Experts. He is there. He's going to step in and join us now to talk a little bit. I tell you guys all the time about Essential Moving Experts. Sean Williams, there he is.
Big
How you feeling, man?
I'm doing good. Can't complain. Just finished my morning meeting, and now I'm ready to go. Well, not morning, at midday meeting.
Right, yes. Yeah, at this time, midday. I'll see you eventually because eventually I'll go up there. When's Bike Week the next time around for you guys?
I want to say that's like October, or maybe that may be Biketoberfest, but there's some
Biketoberfest. Yeah, I think I'm going to go hopefully to the next Bike Week up there. So
I'll have to check the dates for you specifically. I'll be down for training camp too, so maybe I'll see you there at one of the camps.
Yeah, no, let's go to lunch or something after camp or something, bro.
That'd be great.
Let's do that, bro. When you come down here, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just hoping this Tyreek shit can blow over, brother, because I have a funny feeling that if the video comes out, he's gonna probably be missing at least a game.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was Omar who jinxed it like 6 months ago or something. He was like, the only thing we ask in the in-between period is don't have like a star player like Tyreek or something get in trouble. And then sure enough, our star player Tyreek gets in trouble. But hopefully it's not as bad as it sounds. I like what I've seen from Chosen and Barrios too. So maybe we can survive a game or two. But if it's substantial games, then we're going to be in trouble.
Oh yeah, definitely. It won't be easy. But the good thing is that Waddle is a number one.
Yes, correct.
And McDaniel is a hell of a coach. He can scheme shit up. We have enough receivers that we will be able to get by a game without him or two.
Yep.
It's not the end of the world, but because of his track record, that's the problem here, where that's not going to help him if there's video that actually shows him hitting the guy, which again, you got to know better, bro. If you're Tyreek, you just can't be involved in shit like that. You just can't, you know. So
My thing too is just came out that the guy was like in his late 50s, early 60s, so that's even worse. But welcome to Dolphins fan life.
yeah. He's an old fart like me. You just can't hit us old farts like that. By the way, Sean, of course, is the owner of EssentialMovingExperts.com. So if you're looking for a moving service nationwide, locally, Sean and the folks are the people you want to call. Go to EssentialMovingExperts.com so you can find out more. By the way, office relocation, home relocation. If you're moving within the state, across the country, all of that. And storage too, right, Sean? You guys will store their goods up to 1 month, I believe, on the house. And then after that, they can negotiate if they need to go longer. Is that how it goes, right?
That's right. 30 days for free. Then any additional month is just discretionary depending on the amount of stuff that it is. So right. 30 days free. Again, yeah, we're doing everything right now. We're getting pretty booked up for summer. So even if you're thinking about a move and it's not for 6 months, better to call now and get a free quote and see where you're going to be at than to wait till last minute.
So let me ask you something. I was going to just ask that. Summer is the big time for moving because I would figure kids are out. This is when, people travel, all kinds of stuff. People take vacations. So do some people actually use the summers also? Is that the main time to move, right? Because what is it like? June weddings are like big, or summer weddings are big. Is moving big in the summer?
I would say 70 to 80% of our entire year is summertime. May to, even till like the holidays, even a little after summer, probably till the first holiday, around Thanksgiving, it slows down. But kids are out of school, people are, it's warmer. They decide they want to go, down here to Florida and get some beach time. Yeah, summer is definitely by far the busiest time of the year.
Has this been the year where you've moved more people to Florida and Texas over the last couple of years? Because since we hear about it, that Florida and Texas with the whole pandemic thing, we ended up getting a boom in people and in businesses coming to the States. Did you get the same thing?
Yeah, it's our number one delivery destination, and it's not even close. Texas is 2, but Texas is like 40% less than Florida, and then everything else is even lower than that. It's by far our number one delivery location. It's actually kind of scary when you live in Florida to see the numbers and statistics on how many people are actually coming to Florida and, yeah, like you said, Texas as well. Primarily from the West Coast. I think California is our number one pickup. That's the number one place people are moving out of right now.
Yeah.
Which
California, which they should be the best state in the country by miles with the size, the resources, everything. But that place has become a mess, dude.
Yep. Great to visit, just not live.
Right. Isn't it awesome? Right. It's crazy like that. That's the kind of place you love visiting because, dude, every time I go to California, I have a blast. I enjoy visiting it, even though the traffic sucks.
Yep.
In Southern California and in California and in Northern California too, and at least in the San Francisco area, traffic's not great. But still, you have a great time when you go. But man, God, I can see why so many people are actually moving out, man. That's absolutely, and that's what I want to tell people too. By the way, you check out the website; it's all in Dolphins colors. Sean's a big Dolphins fan. He's a Dolphins season ticket holder, by the way, so he comes down for all the games. And their headquarters are in Daytona, but they service, the entire country. So if you're looking to move, like he said, make plans ahead of time and call the people at EssentialMovingExperts.com. They definitely will take care of you. So what's been the biggest move you've done in the last year or two? How many trucks did you need?
So, well, the biggest that I did as far as trucks go was actually, and we didn't really know this going into it, was a lady locally here in New Smyrna. You're familiar with New Smyrna.
yeah.
It's it was a hoarder. I don't know how else to say it nicely. And it was supposed to be about 2 trucks. It ended up being almost 4 trucks. And I'll tell you, there probably wasn't even half a truck worth of stuff that I understood why it was being moved. The rest of the stuff was just stuff that was kept over a long period. So that was the biggest one ever. The biggest, as far as like high quality, we had a guy out of Virginia who was, I have a non-disclosure, so I can't say specific, but he was college being drafted. He was a drafted player moving from Virginia, and he took his whole family, and they were already well off before he got drafted. And it was like a multi-million-dollar, probably like a $5 million house. And they were moving into like a even bigger house. It was, every piece of furniture was just immaculate, marble and like, you know, painted stained glass. That was probably the biggest one that I've ever seen of like size and value. That was pretty overwhelming, but it went well. He's actually one of our top references right now.
Nice. Okay, so are people moving more to South Florida, Central Florida, or the Panhandle?
I would say South Florida, both west and east side. But everything from Boca, you don't get a lot Miami. You get, you know, probably like, you know, Delray to Boca to maybe West Palm, Davie. That whole area is definitely the most popular right now.
The West Coast is popular too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like Station, all those over there are extremely popular. So you get some that are like downtown Miami or like South Beach, but majority are just that northern or east or western Miami.
All right. So if people want to move, do me a favor, Sean. Give them a tip or two that mistakes are constantly made by people, and these are things that you can do to avoid this mistake or two. Which one is it?
All right. 3 things. Number 1, booking last minute. Probably the number 1 mistake that we see people making. There's even if you think you're moving or you're possibly selling your house, go ahead and plan it. You don't have to reserve anything, but start getting the ball in motion, understanding, are you going to go with a full service mover? Are you going to do it yourself? Be prepared, because when the time comes and the house does close and you are ready to book, the rates are going to be outrageous. You're going to be scrambling because there's so many things that go into moving that people don't think about. You probably moving for a job. You got to get your kids in a new school. You got, you know, find a local doctor. Then you're closing on the house. You don't want all that on top of the move not going well. So preparation, 1. 2 is what you're moving. Have a very detailed, specific idea of what exactly you're moving. Try not to change, you know, oh, we're going to move everything, and then 3 days before you move, you decide to sell half of it, or, you know, you forgot about the storage unit or stuff in the attic. Understand exactly what it is you're moving, because moving is based on the items that you're moving. That's what your quotes are based off of. So know what you're moving. You don't have to know exactly. Obviously, you're not going to know how many boxes you're going to have a month before the move because you haven't packed yet. But just know what you're moving. And then 3 is transparency. You know, a big problem we have is, you know, they're not getting the transparency from the mover of exactly how they're being quoted, exactly how long delivery is, how pickups work, what exactly we're going to be doing when we get there. So ask questions and make sure you're transparent with the moving company, and make sure they're being transparent back to you. Even if it's something that you don't necessarily want to hear, but it's the truth, take that as at face value and make your decision based on transparency.
Okay. One more thing. Do you move cars also?
Yeah. So we don't ourselves move cars. We have a third party. It's Full Auto Transport. Shout out to Rob at Full Auto Transport. I've been with him for 7 years. Not one complaint in 7 years. So he's a third party. We refer you. He deal with him directly. He'll transport anything from Maseratis to, you know, Honda Civic. Great pricing, great customer service. He runs everything himself. And in 7 years, I've never had an issue with him. So shout out Rob, Full Auto Transport. And we can get all the information for you if you need it.
There you go. So they can take care of you if you also have to move your vehicle too at the same time when you're moving it across the state. All right, man. We're getting closer, bro. We're gonna go up to Canton soon to see Zach get inducted, man. I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so, you know, I follow Omar is really, and you are really good at the Hall of Fame stuff, and when they should be getting in based on the rest of the class that should get in. And I was convinced he wasn't getting in this year, so I was already disappointed before it even was announced. And then I watched it live, and he got in, and I was like, usually my wife, I let her know when football stuff is on. I didn't tell her that this was on, and I'm like screaming in the living room, and she's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Zach Thomas got in the Hall of Fame." She's like, "Am I supposed to know what that means?" And so that was great. I was super excited for him. I can't wait. And I think Jimmy Johnson's gonna do his inauguration. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really happy for him, man. So this is a good year, man. Our boys are gonna play well. I have a lot of confidence that the Dolphins are gonna be pretty damn special this year. We're gonna go to the playoffs and make some noise finally in the playoffs. Maybe Sean, you and I are in Vegas for the Super Bowl.
Listen, I'm ready for it. I have my Super Bowl savings fund. It's been there for a little while now. I'm ready to use it. It's specifically for if and when we go to the Super Bowl. That money is put aside for that. The tricky part is, though, you go to the playoffs, so you want to go to a playoff game. But then if you win, then you want to go to the divisional game. But then if you win, you want to go to the championship game. But then if you win the Super Bowl, can't afford to go to all of them. But if you don't go to the playoffs and then you lose and then you didn't get to go, so it's very tricky. I'm learning now that we're better and we're actually making it to the playoffs. Because you remember, I'm still young. I didn't get to experience, the only time I've ever experienced a playoff game was 2016 and then 2001. In 2001, I won't even tell you how old I was. So it wasn't like I am now, a passionate fan. It was more of like, a kid running around excited. So I'm learning more as we start getting better. I'm gonna have to pick wisely on which games I go to because I'm ready for it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, bro. I had a pad ready to go last year and had to cancel and get the deposit back, but I'm doing the same thing in Vegas. I'm gonna get the house ready just in case, and if it happens, then we're gonna have a party week leading up to that.
I'll be there with you. We'll do a show. I'll come over. I'll 100%. If my bucket list is getting shorter, luckily, in my life. One thing on my bucket list that I have zero control over is Dolphins winning a Super Bowl. So hopefully it will happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, bro. Tua's gonna take us to the promised land. I'm convinced of that, man. I'm convinced.
And the more I watch it this year, the more I'm convinced this is the year. This is it. It hasn't been aligned this well from what I've heard or understand in a very, very long time.
Yeah, early 90s. We haven't been this good since the early 90s, and I think we're better than the early 90s. That's the only thing in the early 90s that guaranteed is better is Marino. Yeah. Outside of that, I could argue that everything else might be better and will be better if it all falls into place. That's how good I think this team is.
I agree. And even though Marino was way better, was he a better system fit for the system that he was in than Tua is a better system fit for the system he's in?
I think Marino would have thrown darts wherever he's at, bro. I just think he was just that.
He would have called an audible and just said, go, and I'll
yeah, I just think Marino tore it up in any era that he played. And the only thing you can't put him in is in an offense where he has to run a lot because that wasn't his thing. But once he dropped back, he was going to find somebody open and he was going to let that shit rip. And he was going to be a stud no matter what. That's for damn sure, dude. But
let me ask you this: if the Dolphins,
again, I think Tua is going to be a great quarterback. Also, you know what I mean? It's just
the Dolphins win a Super Bowl. If the Dolphins win a Super Bowl, are they able to, or would they, unretire Dan Marino, make him on the active roster for a day, and let him get a Super Bowl ring? Is that possible? Is that legal?
It's technically well, I don't know because I don't know if you could sign him prior to the Super Bowl. I think you have to sign him prior to the playoffs.
Gotcha.
But then again, it would take up a roster space, so you would probably have to carry a fourth quarterback. Sure. That would be a mess. It would probably not happen. Okay. Hey. And I know this about Marino. I covered him. I know the guy enough. He would never want any part of that.
Yeah, no, he just wants to see the team succeed.
Yeah, he just wants to see the team succeed. He wants to be the guy quarterbacking the team to the win. And he knows at this point that's not in the cards. So all he wants, he's a Tua guy, bro. He's a Tua guy. So
100%.
if anybody wants to see Tua win, I guarantee you Marino would take a lot of pleasure in watching Tua win.
100%. Sure. I'm excited. I'm really excited. The most excited I can remember for a season.
You should.
So
You should be. You should be. All right, Dolphin fans, remember, and anybody out there, man, you need a moving service, call my guy Sean at essentialmovingexperts.com. Make sure you give him a ring. If you're looking to move your business, your home, give him a ring and plan ahead of time. Essentialmovingexperts.com. Sean, appreciate you, my brother. We'll catch up down the line, my friend.
Yes,
and hopefully
sir.
We'll see you at training camp, all right?
I appreciate it. I'll see you soon.
You got it, baby. There you go. Sean Williams, essentialmovingexperts.com. No offense to anyone who lives there. I'm sure you all picked the nicest area there. If you're a true Floridian, you know the Panhandle is whack. Yeah, that's not true, bro. I get what you're meaning and taking shots at, but there's nice beaches in Pensacola and Destin and Panama City. That's not nice, bro. There's some nice places in the Panhandle. Okay, let's not make it all sound like stereotyping things and all that. Florida's got a lot of nice places in the Panhandle, in the central area of the state, in the lower area down to the Keys. There's a lot. Man, there's so many great springs, natural springs that you can go to, and they're all pretty much situated in the northern central part of the state. Okay, by Ocala and in between Ocala and Orlando, there are so many great natural springs that you can go to, and most people won't even know about them. I just kind of find that, we can have fun. And we could say you need a passport to get to Miami. And we could say that, the Panhandle has, whatever you want to label it as or whatever. I get it. But in the end, there's actually a lot of nice places all throughout, Florida. Okay. And even in the Panhandle. What you don't do in the Panhandle is have hot dogs from Dairy Queen. That's the stupidity that you've got to avoid in the Panhandle. Okay? Some idiots don't understand that. There are some morons that don't know that you're not supposed to eat a hot dog in the Panhandle and a Dairy Queen. But outside of that, there's a lot of other places, Panhandle is shaped like a gun, but we still have fun, bro. There you go. The whole country is beautiful when you take your head out of Miami. Exactly, dude. Exactly. You are correct. And there are places in the Panhandle, in Central Florida, in South Florida that you don't want to go to. That's everywhere also, by the way. Anyway. What else do we have? Okay, the Panhandle has its problems, sure, but we have some of the best beaches in the world, and my wife is the best bartender in Florida. Well, I will agree to both of those. They do have great beaches up there, and his wife is a hell of a bartender. He's right on that. So, anyway, we I think are wrapping it up here on the show. That's it. I got to thank my man Sean Williams from Essential Moving Experts. Got to thank Alan Poupart. Got to thank Michelle Kaufman. As always, Bitcoin holding strong just over 30,000. I like it. Hopefully we'll get that next push up and get to 31, 32, 33,000. That's coming next. Big shout out to the Marlins. Thanks, Big O and Sean. Thank you, King Short. Appreciate it. To Extreme says, damn, I joined too late. No, you didn't. You just rewind. And that's it. So appreciate all of you out there. We'll be in Atlanta's tomorrow. Having some fun. We'll be in Atlanta for a couple of days, checking out The Cure, and then we'll be back Thursday at Hialeah Park. We'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, slightly different place, and same bat channel.